Welcome into Tiger Talks Wrestling. I am your host, Tony. I am joined today by my co-host, Mr. Awesome, and a very special guest. Hello, everybody. Welcome into Tiger Talks Wrestling. I'm your host, Tony, joined by good friend Eddie. Welcome to the show.
Yo, yo, yo.
The boy from the Bronx. Nice. So today we're going to start with our new week in review show for WWE programming. Instead of doing WWE and AEW, because neither one of us are huge watchers of all of AEW programming, we decided to just do WWE for this time around, and we'll see how things go.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty interesting first couple weeks for wrestling-wise, especially WWE-wise, anyway.
I do agree. It has been, like they always say in WWE, it's the road to WrestleMania begins. And it has been a couple of weeks of great shows. We'll get more into it, but oh my God, what's going on Raw right now is there's one man that makes me want to bust out laughing and just cry, and I'm definitely getting that T-shirt next month to honor him.
That should be interesting. I'm sure we'll who that person is sooner than later.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, let's go right into things then. We're going to... Oh, that's interesting. This version, they put it up top instead of the bottom of the screen. First thing, talk about, of course, Raw Day 1 from last Monday. Yeah, 2 weeks ago almost. The way they kicked off the show, having Michael Cole and Wade Barrett actually in the ring, breaking down what was coming on the show, was something we don't see very often.
No.
That was a good way to start off the first show of 2024.
Yeah. It felt like, to me, it felt like a Joey Styles and whoever he had next to him. Like an ECW vibe.
Yeah. That was Joel Gertner, I believe, mostly.
Joe Gertner, or it was Don Callis, and he was Cyrus, whatever his name was in that.
There's the virus.
Yeah.
For sure. From that, the first match of 2024 we got was, of course, the man Becky Lynch coming out to face the Irresistible Force, Nia Jax. I've seen people saying on social media, and I'd have to agree, probably the best Nia Jax match, possibly of her entire career thus far.
Yes, it has. This match actually showed that, sometimes when you watch a Nia, no disrespect to Nia, lovely woman, but watching her matches is like, okay, is there a bathroom break or a something I could get something to eat? Because some of her matches are boring.
That's true.
You know, when I see her
Very true,
matches,
but this match definitely was not boring.
no, most definitely, it wasn't boring at all.
Go ahead. What was your biggest takeaway from that match, though?
Well, this match has been a long time coming. This is coming back when Becky got her nose broken right before Survivor Series when she was supposed to face Ronda Rousey, and that's when the man became the legend that she is. And they never followed up on it. And Nia went her separate way. Becky became a star, and it finally culminated to this match. I wasn't a little surprised about the finish. It shows that it gave Nia a little push, but in the end, this is only a roadblock for big time Bex, so she could go after Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 40, or because either way it showed that they could work together. But man, this should have been a while back.
Yeah, that's for sure. I know. Personally, watching that match, I figured Becky was going to win it going into it, but those two both went back and forth, and the amount of times that Nia went for the punch, as she was, of course, alluding to it going in, that she didn't use her full force when she did bust open Becky's nose a few years back. She kept missing, but you kind of had to know something was going to happen with that punch at some point in time. Just to see the way she got that uppercut in, though, at the end of the match, busting Becky open again, this time accident again, but still, to see that blood again was a perfect spot after seeing what happened between those two previously. And of course, the Annihilator to get the 1-2-3 wasn't expected, but like we said, it also gives Becky the redemption story to go through.
Yeah, well, no, I totally agree with you. I think
she'll come back and have a rematch with Becky.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I see that this is just, but it's gonna build up. It's gonna build. Becky don't need to be built up anymore. This will help Nia Jax get built up. I know they're calling her a monster, but her return hasn't been really that good. But this will help her.
It should. I feel like this win kind of helps more of their claims of Nia being one of the odds-on favorites in the Women's Royal Rumble match.
Yes, I totally agree with what you're saying with that, because that's what I hear, and it's going to be, you can't just have her lose straight out and all of a sudden say, oh, she's a dominant force and she's going to win the Royal Rumble. No, you got to build her up. You got to build her up for that match, and then all of a sudden, she's one of the final four or the final two. Then you could work it from there and then be like, she came up short again. But this will basically, what Becky's doing, this will help in the long run.
Yeah. All right. From there, they went into, of course, Cody Rhodes coming out and challenging Shinsuke Nakamura, trying to get Shin to come out to fight him on day one instead of waiting until the week after that they were supposed to have their match. That didn't go quite the way Cody thought it would have. Shin just had his own message on the Titantron, and that was all that was to that. He wouldn't come out to fight Cody. I feel like we kind of seen that happen a few weeks back. I mean, yes, Shin did eventually show up and get the mist afterwards, but still, just felt like that part was played already in this storyline.
Yeah, I like the
Didn't
program,
really
but
feel
you know, it needs to progress more. And it can't just be to say, "Oh, look, he's on the Tron talking about something. What he's going to do?"
yeah.
Progress it a little more each week, and all that. But yeah, I think it should have been a confrontation a little bit. But you get what you get with WWE. They try to drag a storyline that should have been halfway done already.
Right. So then from that, we go into the unique tag team of Kofi Kingston and main event Jey Uso going up against Imperium, Giovanni Vinci, and Ludwig Kaiser. The match was pretty good up until the finish of it, of course.
Yeah.
As the referee had to stop the match as Giovanni Vinci got caught with a drop kick by Kofi Kingston, and his head just bounced off the mat. I'm assuming more than likely with a concussion since then, as the referee stopped the match at that point and gave the win to Kofi and Jey.
You know what? If that injury didn't happen, I know that would have been a hand down. One of the great. They're all great technical wrestlers, and it's a shame what happened to Giovanni. But hopefully we get that match again. And for some reason, and I know you're gonna think this is weird, but I love the pairing of Kofi and Jey. Main event Jey Uso. I love it because it looks like they've been teaming forever because they fought each other so long.
Right? I was gonna say it was definitely interesting to see one of the Usos with one of the members of the New Day because
I know
they had that rivalry for years.
What's going on with Xavier Wood?
That's a good question. I honestly have no idea. I've been seeing he's doing social media stuff and doing his gaming stuff at G4 and stuff like that. I don't know if that's just what's keeping him out of the ring or what exactly is.
Yeah. Because you could see Kofi.
I have to imagine he'll be back on TV soon, though.
If you look at Kofi's new ring attire, he looks like he's is the New Day like in a balance or what? Because I never saw Kofi wear basketball shorts.
I know, right? That's what he's wore the last 2 weeks. Basketball shorts,
yeah,
boots, shoes, whatever.
Yeah,
you're right. It's definitely a different look for him.
Because you always see him wearing the tights with the New Day. I mean, he still has the music.
Kudos to the
rest. Yeah.
Right. But that's all.
Yeah. Yeah, everything else is like, who the hell are you?
Right?
I feel like when you look at Kofi,
guy who boxed to Jey Uso.
I feel like when you look at Kofi right now, it feels like it's that something that where DX was asking Kofi, what happened to your Jamaican accent?
Yeah.
And
right?
I really wanted to
seems
say
like he's a little lost in a way.
Yeah, I was like this, like I really wanted Triple H to be like, Triple H, why you come on and say, hey Kofi, what happened to your New Day attire?
Right? But hopefully we'll get to see more of Kofi and Jey in the future, but we'll see what happens with that because Giovanni Vinci, of course, is on the shelf after that. Kudos to the referee and trainer for getting in there and checking on him and making sure the athlete was all right and not continuing.
Oh, yes, definitely.
We went from there. They showed the video hyping up Ivy Nile as she would have a match coming up. And then we go into Miz TV for the first time in 2024. And the Miz's guest was the Judgment Day. or at least the Judgment Day member, R-Truth. Anyways,
oh man.
right?
Oh. Okay, so who wants to start this one? I mean, it could be me or you, man. I'm gonna let you
Go
start
for
because you're the host.
it.
Oh,
I mean, R-Truth is so delusional, but yet it's so hilarious to
yeah,
hear him saying he's a member of the New Day and he's out there doing the promo or doing the different things for Judgment Day, not with the group themselves. And
yeah.
they hype up how he beat JD 2 weeks ago, and just
okay,
hilarious and over the
yeah. Oh, and remember you said we'll get into it. Yes, that person I was talking about, and I know it's not on this episode of Monday Night Raw, but yes, I am gonna get an R-Truth Judgment Day T-shirt, and it is hilarious that this guy is making the Judgment Day, even if they're a heel faction. This man is making him the most popular group in the WWE, and I'm saying right now, guys,
That's
add
true.
him into the Judgment Day for real. Or if he's in the Judgment Day already, it's confusing. But
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to kick out 2 members. But
yeah, I mean, I would love to see my version of the Judgment Day: Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, and R-Truth.
yeah, that would be great. All 4 of those as baby faces.
Yeah, I
Just kick
know.
out Dom and JD.
Oh yeah, you can make them the new Bushwhackers.
There you go. They lose all the time anyway, so why not?
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of, I mean, from Miz TV, of course, being interrupted by Dom and JD, you get the tag team match of Awesome Truth versus Dom and JD. Again, the you get of R-Truth going from neutral corner to his corner to going outside the ring and putting his arm around Dominic on the outside, trying to help out. He'll fight JD, but he wouldn't fight Dom.
Oh yeah.
It leading up that to R-Truth tripping up JD and into knocking him into the skull crushing finale. 1, 2, 3. Miz gets a win for the first time in forever. It seems like.
Oh. And the other part that was funny.
I know you don't like Miz.
The other part that was funny about that when he was like, "I'm sorry and I love you," from WrestleMania 24 between Shawn and Ric Flair.
Right? Yep, I got it over there.
Oh.
Yep. Say, hilarity wise, R-Truth is probably the spotlight of Monday Night Raw right now. So
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I mean, my God, if you look at R-Truth, if you look at R-Truth, if you look at R-Truth's career, he has a more better run the second time than he has as K-Quick.
Well, that's not hard.
Yeah, like. Looks like he started. No, but he is one of the focal points of Monday Night Raw. That I can't wait to watch it tomorrow night to see what he's gonna do.
Right? Definitely. One of the things to look forward to every week.
Yeah,
it was a pretty decent tag team match that they had. Nice to see Truth and Miz back as a team, at least for one night.
One night.
Well, we'll get into that. And of course, they go from there. You see Caden Carter and kind of Chance celebrating their tag team title win at a party, and they get interrupted by Chelsea and Piper, who told them they want their rematch, which they would get this past Monday night on Raw, which we'll get to later.
Yeah.
Chelsea doesn't complain like a little Karen.
Yeah, I know. Chelsea's a little Karen. That's her character.
She is.
I love the way she said that straight out.
Right?
Oh, she just a little Karen.
Right? Yes, that'd be my niece Hope. You hear in the background.
Oh my God! Hey, she's okay. She's your co-host.
Yeah, at times she can be, yes. From there, we move into, of course, the Women's World Championship match as Rhea Ripley went up against Ivy Nile. I'll say for this match, I was very impressed by Ivy Nile, and I feel like I've watched most of her matches in NXT, if not all of them, but I felt like this was her best performance in WWE so far in this match with Rhea.
I will agree with you. That I wasn't expecting, because I don't watch NXT that much, but man, she is a talent. And we knew the outcome already, but man, she showed everybody that she could compete with the big dogs. And especially competing with Mommy, that is something I got to give her applause for, because she showed people that somewhere down the line she'll be a women's world champion.
I agree. Wholeheartedly agree with that. I feel like that was the case for both women's matches, women's championship matches, which we'll get into the other one later. For that first week, was that the challenger stood out pretty well, even though they lost the match to the champion in both situations.
Yeah. I just hope, there's one thing I always have a negative about. I hope they do not put her in a match and a tag team with Maxine Dupree, and have her go for the tag team titles, because that will be a downgrade for her.
Yeah. Well, you would think after seeing what she was able to do with Rhea in that match, that they might spot me pretty decently in the Royal Rumble match.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But props to Mommy for retaining the Women's World Championship, as we all figured she would do, but all she could handle.
Yeah. But that top rope move she did when she jumped on the top rope and hit her in the head, I was like, wow, that's I was like, wait, did she hit her in the head, or did she just swat her? Because the way it looked, the camera angle was not too good, so I don't know if she hit her. I was like, wow, she just swatted her and just beat her that quick. Like, okay, and then thank God they showed, because the camera angle was just horrible.
Right. Well, at least what we got, skipping ahead a little bit, but at least the news we got after that week was that, or during that week, I should say, Kevin Dunn is no longer a part of WWE, so things are going to be a different story from now on.
Yep.
Production.
I wonder if they
different story. Period.
Yeah, I wonder if they pack his stuff in a garbage bag and deliver it to him.
They should have. Because I know what that is.
Yes, and say, P.S. This is from Mickey James.
Yeah, right. So there from the Women's World Championship match, we get
Jinder
the
Mahal.
yes, the former WWE champion to make an appearance on Monday Night Raw. It's day one, and it be the modern day Maharaja
Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal, who I think many people knew and figured was not the actual person that was being advertised for this spot.
Yeah.
Jinder does play the role of American hater, if you will, very well, and putting down all of America and all the stuff that we stand. She just went a bit too far on that night. As, of course, there was a specific bigger name, former WWE champion, that was in the same state, only a couple hours away, as he was part of College Game Day earlier in that day. Of course,
If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Jinder would get interrupted by the People's Champion. Which you don't put down the people without getting from the People's Champ.
I have my hopes up so high, and then when Jinder came out, I was bored.
Yes, I think a lot of people were a little upset and bored when Jinder came out first.
Oh my God!
The WWE champ.
I never saw a crowd go, "Oh my God, who is?" And all of a sudden, they hear his music like, "Oh, it's only Jinder." You know,
right? And then when you hear the "if you smell," and then the pop, of course, that you get for The Rock.
Yep. And then somebody has to give Michael Cole air because I thought he was going to blow. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yeah,
oh my
you
God,
see the videos of Samantha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought she had a heart attack.
It was crazy, that's for sure.
Oh man.
But
and even
of course,
even
always
Wayne,
great to see The Rock on Raw.
Almost definitely. And even Wayne Barrett had to say to Michael, "All right, calm down." It's only like you never seen him before. You know.
I know, right?
Okay. Okay, just go away. Just shoot.
But of course, the biggest thing out of The Rock returning, not just taking out Jinder and shutting him up, but that last little question he had to ask the fans there in San Jose, California, was the most eye-catching, if you will. The Rock saying he needed to go out and get a bite to eat, but should he sit in a booth? At the bar?
Or at the head of the table?
Or at the head of the table. Shots fired across the bow, if you will.
Yeah.
Of course, to The Rock's cousin, Roman Reigns. As it looks like we might actually be getting that match at some point in time in the next couple months.
I think I know where it is not going to be.
I've been waiting for that match for a long, long time. Rock versus Roman to see who is the head of the table, and it's going to be a box office smash for the WWE when that match happens.
I agree.
They're going to blow the roof off.
Where will it happen, though? We'll have to wait and see, because there's been rumors of 2 different shows it can take place at.
I know.
It keeps going back and forth, because I've read reports saying that Roman's supposed to face him at Elimination Chamber, and I've seen that Roman's not going to be at Elimination Chamber, and it could take place at WrestleMania, so...
But Cody needs to finish the story.
Yes, that's the thing. Cody needs to finish the story, but will it necessarily be against Roman? That's another question.
Please let it be against Roman.
Yeah.
Payback for every little thing he did to Bloodline did to Cody. And talking about his father.
Well, everybody talks about Dusty, so.
No, but not like how Roman did.
True.
Oh, I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
Hey, she
And
got it.
personally, I feel like
She got it hands down.
go ahead. Right? We all felt that way. I still say Cody should have won last year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Cody.
So mad
Yeah,
with all that.
yeah, Cody should have won. Cody should have won last year, and now with this rumor about where it's going to be take place between him and Brock, you got to take the title off from somewhere, And the perfect place to take the title off for him is at the Rumble.
Wrestle. No.
yeah, that's possible. It's possible. I mean, he's got 3 challenges, as we'll get into in a little bit. But
Oh my gosh, this is my favorite part. We're gonna get there.
so then, after you get Jinder and The Rock, which was probably the best part of Raw Day 1, in my opinion, segment-wise, you go into Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark going up against Tegan Nox and Natalya. Honestly, no offense to those 4 ladies, but this kind of felt like a throwaway match. It wasn't too terrible, I guess, but still. Zoe picks up the win after hitting the Z360 on Tegan. I will say Zoe and Shayna looked pretty good as a tag team in the match, but
yeah.
Can Tegan Nox Natalya anything?
No, Tegan Nox and Natalya can't win anything. That's the way it feels like, anyway.
Why can't they win anything? Please give them something. Just something.
Go to NXT.
Right.
Yeah, I felt like that.
Yeah, maybe Tegan needs to go back to NXT.
I felt like that match was just to fill time, and yet it was good to see Zoe and Shayna get a win, but they've been using Shayna like the undercard of Ronda. Like she's how can I say it? She is almost like she had that big win at SummerSlam against Ronda, and then she became the less version of Ronda Rousey.
Right.
And they could have built her just like her, and same thing with Zoe. They had her with Trish, and she was flourishing, and now she's stuck. Tegan Nox,
Yep.
I think she's great, but how much can you do with her? And I don't want to say anything about Natalya because she's part of the Hart Dynasty, but either send her to the back to catering or don't put her on TV anymore because I'm getting tired of. It's like she gets all these opportunities and it's like, well, I need this. No, you don't. You've been there longer than the girls that are there now. Give somebody else a.
That's true. And they've shown they're not actually going to give her a decent push, it seems like. So
just put those 2 women back in NXT and do something
different with them.
Just something. All they keep doing is losing. What's the point of them having a match if they're just going to lose every match?
Yeah, they're not credible challengers, that's for sure, when they keep losing. But anyway, so then we move from there into the main event. Oh, go ahead.
No, you have a division that is in disarray when you have the major champions doing their stuff, and then you have tag titles that hopefully they can get going because them titles been around since WrestleMania. When Mercedes Moné and Bayley won them, and then the titles it doesn't fit the product. Yeah, it doesn't fit the product. I mean, tag team. Maybe they should go with another singles title. Do the North American title.
I think you and John had that discussion before.
Yeah. You know, it's even with the tag
Yeah.
team titles
Yeah.
too.
They seem like they're trying to.
You know, the
Yeah.
tag team titles, I see that they're
Well,
really trying because
I semi disagree with you there.
yeah,
I disagree with you a little bit on that one. The men's tag teams like they need to split up the tag team titles again.
they do.
Because
No,
they've
they
got
do.
so many tag teams on both shows now.
They do. There was
The women's tag team titles, I agree though, they just seem like yeah. And there's rumors that they're still supposed to split them before WrestleMania, but we'll see.
There were rumors right before
Women's
the
tag
year.
teams wise.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, I seen though.
Yeah, they were saying in the new
Women's
year
tag
that
teams wise, it feels like they just throw.
Yeah. No, I agree with you
I think
that
we
they
both keep
just
talking over each other. That's okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, you first.
And my point was that it just seems like they're throwing two women together, kind of like what they've done. I mean, with guys in the past for tag teams, but it just feels like none of these women's tag teams are really flourishing. I will say Kaden and Katana are the perfect team, I feel like, to have as the champions. You've got a couple tag teams that you could actually count as credible challenges, I guess. Isla Dawn and Alba Fire that are challenging here next week on SmackDown. But really, if you look past those two teams, which they just got brought up in the draft from NXT, and they were the two tag teams in NXT, women's tag teams, there's not really any other credible opponents for Kaden and Katana, really, if you ask me, for those tag titles. I mean, Chelsea and Piper is just a thrown together tag team that could erupt at any point. So
because Piper's like literally has ruined everything for them because she keeps flashing the wrong person. She keeps flashing Chelsea.
true. We'll get into that later, but yeah, they definitely benefit from getting rid of the women's tag titles and getting a mid card title in it.
Yeah. Sorry, I get very heated when I hear about tag team titles.
Okay, that was my point. That's what your point was.
Yeah. I apologize. I just get very heated. Like, if the titles are not working out, get rid of them and put something else in place. You know.
Get a woman.
I agree too. Those women's tag titles probably should just go bye bye. But
just get a women's intercontinental title and make it white.
There you go.
My God. That's a great idea.
Now let's move on. Yeah, it is. Women's Intercontinental, and maybe do a women's US title on the other show too. But
no, that's Intercontinental.
Well, you can't just have one mid card title when you got women on both brands.
Yeah, but I want one.
Maybe, who knows? Anyway, move on to the day one main event. Of course, the World Heavyweight Championship match. As you got Drew McIntyre versus Seth freaking Rollins. I'll start off saying this. When you look back at the match that these two had at Crown Jewel, I feel like this match at day one was so much better, honestly. They had a really good match at Crown Jewel, but I still felt like they put more into this match on day one than what they did at Crown Jewel.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I watched the Crown Jewel, and I think this one had more, had more pizzazz, and I felt like, yeah, they're both good workers, but yeah, the day one match was really on spot. It was a nail biter to the end, and more props to Seth friggin' Rollins and Drew McIntyre, for showing their abilities and their talent.
Right, that's for sure. I know there was plenty of points during that match. It looked like it made me think Drew McIntyre was actually going to walk out as World Heavyweight champion.
I was having a panic attack in the corner.
It made everybody, I feel like, in belief that Drew could walk out as champion up until the end of the match, of course, when Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio come running out to the ring. Priest is going to do the cash in. I think everybody at that point was like, oh, we're finally going to get to see this cash in because Drew and Seth were both beaten up at that point. Only for Drew to get back up and take out both Dom and Priest and lose the match himself for the curb stomp.
Yeah. I mean, the part that was
please don't.
The part at the end when Drew hit the Claymore and then he over-covered and the foot was on the rope. I'm like, oh man, if he didn't do that, you would have won the title.
Won the title, yes, he would have.
He should have.
He would have.
Bended his leg like a person and had his leg, and then he couldn't.
And definitely Drew kind of, as he would mention this past week, which we'll get into, kind of screwed himself over in a way in that sense. So.
Yeah.
But he wasn't the only one, as you mentioned. Damian Priest and Dominic did screw him too by trying to get involved. So.
Yeah.
Really great match. I felt like it was a really, really good show from top to bottom for the most part for the first episode of 2024.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. I feel like they really put an effort into the first show of the year, and it was nonstop action. And I felt like, if I was rating the show, I'll give it an A because they put so much effort, in it. If I say an A, I'm not going to say an A plus because you have that one match, the women's tag match with Tegan and against Baszler and that was the only downfall. But other than that, it was a good day one Raw.
Yep, I would agree.
I'm going to give it a 7 and an A minus.
Give it an A minus? Okay.
Hey.
I'll leave the ratings to you two on that one.
Hey, she's the ring general.
Yeah.
I don't be with Gunter.
All right. Move on to NXT New Year's Evil.
New Year's Evil makes you evil.
Sure does. So we'll mostly just go over the matches. I'll write down everything else that happens during those shows, NXT. The first thing they had was Lyra Valkyria defending her NXT Women's Championship against Blair Davenport, who had won the opportunity for this match when she became the Women's Iron Survivor winner, outlasting 4 other women over that 25-minute span. These two had a pretty good match to kick off the first NXT of 2024, I felt like. Lyra and Blair, I'm sure, have had plenty of matches against each other over in the UK. They're not strangers to each other. But this was probably one of the first times I've actually seen those two one-on-one. I mean, they might have had a match in NXT UK, but I can't remember for sure if I've seen it, if they did. And I thought they had good chemistry, though, in this match.
I think I watched one of their matches in NXT UK, but I really never watched NXT UK that much because, it was nothing I was, I watched it for Mustache Mountain, and who's that guy that they called the Jets? Who's that guy they called the Jets or some tag team?
Oh, I think I know who. Yeah.
I
know there was a few different teams there that aren't around no more.
So. Yeah, and the Grizzled Young Vets, I watched them. They were there, but Yeah, but I do agree with you. The match with Vara and Blair, man, it was good. It was good. You know, Vara to be a great champion, and you know, she's really shown the brass that she could play with the big dogs.
Right. But she did. Lyra, of course, picking up the win, retaining her women's title. And then afterwards, you get coming out Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez, as it looked like Lola was going to cash in her contract for winning the women's breakout tournament.
The crazy girl decided to be weird again.
Well, Lyra would get some unexpected help again.
By crazy girl. I'm calling her that because she acts like it all the time.
Well, at least Lyra's got some backup, whether she wants it or not, though.
No, because she thinks she's crazy, and we all know she's crazy. But she's just so weird.
Oh my god!
Interesting to see.
It kind of reminds me of when Mickey James was obsessed with
Trish Stratus. That is a pretty good comparison, actually.
Wow, she's going back to the Mickey James era.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I've seen some of that stuff. I've shown her some of it.
Oh my god! I call that girl because I forget her name. I said, "Oh look, it's Freddy Krueger's sister."
There you go.
When Mickey James tied up friend.
Ashley Massaro. Yeah. Crazy Mickey things that Mickey did back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Insane. That's why that girl reminds me of Mickey and Trish.
Yeah.
She acts like a Mickey when she was in that.
Gotcha.
But anyway.
Tony, I'm going to say this right now to you, and this is out of respect for you. My God, I gotta keep up with my work because you're man. She's telling me stuff. I'm like, wow, man. You have your own broadcast journalist right here.
Hey, you're doing just fine. So
I know, right? Like, man. I give her props, man. That's amazing.
Just get random stuff thrown out there.
Oh my God, yes.
Right?
I wasn't even around yet.
No, you're only 10. Of course, you weren't around back then.
No.
I'm almost 11.
All right. It'll be interesting to see where things go from there, and if Lola actually eventually cashes in to win the NXT Women's title from Lyra. Move on from that, you get a 6-man tag match. You got the No Quarter Catch Crew, I believe they're calling themselves.
It's so weird.
Drew Gulak, Damon Kemp, and Miles Bourne, who has many comparisons to young Randy Orton, by the way. Going up against the LWO, which was supposed to be Joaquin Wilde, Cruz del Toro, and North American champion Dragon Lee, but Dragon Lee was not able to travel. He had visa issues. So instead, we get the NXT debut of Carlito.
Yeah.
I spit in the people.
Spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
And that's
Oh.
Yeah. I will say the moment still sticks out the most to me from this 6-man tag team match was when Joaquin Wilde was standing on the ropes and Carlito and Cruz del Toro catapulted him off the ropes onto the other 3 guys outside the ring. How far Joaquin Wilde went for that was amazing.
He flew like a helicopter.
Yeah, that spot went viral. That's for sure. It is very much so one of the most watched spots from that episode.
I looked and I was like, is he okay?
Yeah.
You good, sir?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the name.
I feel like personally.
Yeah, like I'm still trying to figure out the name of
Lara Valkyria's soccer?
no. The matchup we're talking about now. I'm trying to figure out the
Oh,
name of Drew Gulak's team. I just call it Blackpool Combat 2.0.
no, it's I believe they call it the No Quarter Catch Crew.
That's so weird.
Yeah. Oh, wow. What a name.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right?
Veteran get a quarter. Veteran get the quarter.
But at the end of the match, you'd see, of course, Cruz del Toro would pick up the win, shockingly. Pinning Damon Kemp, you would have figured Carlito would have got the win. But after the match...
Oh, I was going to say. Carlito spit in Drew Gulak's face?
Yep, he sure did.
With my apple.
Yep. Drew Gulak got to have the apple spat in his face.
Oh, wow.
Ew.
But
Oh.
one thing I will say, though, Joaquin Wild, I felt like I think John and I have both talked about this before on shows, is very underrated. And when you look back to his time in TNA when he was DJ Zema Ion, he could do a lot of things that they don't really give him a chance to do in WWE. And maybe this is the turn of giving him more things to do, perhaps. We'll have to wait and see. But I feel like there's a lot more that Joaquin can do than what we've seen from him so far.
I totally agree with you that man, he is talented, and they just need to figure out what to do with him. I mean, I know the LWO is a stamp with him, but give him some more time on the mat, man. I mean, he will make you look at moves like, man, what he did is amazing. So yeah, I totally agree with you with that one.
Right.
I have an idea to give him something to do.
What?
And put him and get his partner and then give him a tag team. Get a tag team tournament, put them in it.
Well, they are in the Dusty Classic that starts this upcoming week.
Put them in
started
the
this past
tag team titles for the tag team titles, and whoever has to face Damian Priest and Finn Balor for the titles.
Potentially, they could do something like that on the main roster if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Or
they can do something even different. All right. So we go from that match. You got Ariana Grace, the princess of NXT, I guess you could say, or the beauty queen of NXT, whatever you want to call her, the daughter of Santino Marella, nonetheless, going up against Roxanne Perez. And this match originally ended the way I think everybody figured it would, with Roxanne Perez hitting Pop Rocks, getting the 1, 2, 3. Ariana Grace looked pretty good in the match, though. It's what happened after the match that was more interesting, I guess you could say, or noteworthy.
Wait, I forgot what happened.
Roxanne kind of dared Ariana to touch her, to hit her, and she got hit by Ariana, and Roxanne went apeshit, pretty much.
She went to tonight to psychopath.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Permission to hold on Ariana and wouldn't let go, so the referee reversed the decision, and Ariana Grace got the win.
No.
That's the first time in a long time I've actually seen a referee reverse the decision in WWE, though.
Man, because you know what? The last time I saw it was it. I know it's gonna go way back, but I know it must have been old. The Ken Shamrock years. You know.
Oh man, yeah, Shamrock and The Rock.
Yeah.
Actually, for the Intercontinental Championship, when Ken Shamrock originally beat The Rock for the title, and then they reversed the decision because he went nuts after it.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
It was multiple times. It was at WrestleMania, and I think it was one at the Royal Rumble, wasn't it? In '99.
I think so. I think there was, yeah. Can't remember who off the top of my head that one was against. I don't think it was Rock again, but
Was it? Okay.
yeah, it's definitely not something we see very often these days.
No. Could this be a heel turn for Roxanne Perez?
A different side,
No,
quite possibly.
I
Yeah.
don't like it.
I mean, you already do hear some fans at the CWC that are booing Roxanne and cheering more for her opponents. So
No.
she hasn't done anything. That's a problem.
Why is everybody booing everybody I like?
Because some people are weird.
Okay.
You said it. Anyways, we'll move on. You got Tiffany Stratton went up against Fallon Henley.
The Karen of WWE NXT. The smallest Karen in WWE.
Tiffany Stratton, you call him the smallest Karen?
Yeah, the smallest Karen in all of the WWE NXT history.
Potentially. The, of course, stipulation for this match was the loser becomes the winner's either service or ranch hand. Pretty decent match between these two. Okay, who won the match then?
Fallon Henley.
She sure did. Surprisingly, I thought for sure Tiffany was going to win that match.
And
Yeah.
Former NXT Women's Champion.
And now Tiffany has to be her
Ranch hand.
ranch hand. That sounds hard.
We'll get into that. We get into this past Tuesday's NXT. But I will say, Fallon looked pretty good in there. Probably one of her better matches. Tiffany keeps improving almost every match you see her in, I feel like. So
Good. The smallest Karen of NXT WWE history finally lost.
Yeah.
So then we move on. Was there anything from that match that stood out to you before I move on to the next?
No, I think Tiffany Stratton. I think Tiffany Stratton is
I know, right?
is improving in her work, and both girls were doing their thing, and it shows improvement in both of them.
Right. That is for sure. So then we'll move on from that. You got the men's breakout tournament finals, as you got Obafemi going one-on-one with Riley Osborne from Chase University. The Chase U stuff is interesting in and of itself, what's going on there with Andre Chase's gambling issues. And
Why is he gambling?
and JC Jane's trying to get Chase U back above water, if you will. But off of that, of course, Riley Osborne has caught the attention of Chase University member Thea Hale. Was more than happy to sit in the Chase U section to watch this match. For two guys who don't have a whole lot of matches under their belts, I felt like Riley and Oba put on a pretty good showing, though, for the finals of the men's breakout tournament.
One black and one white.
Yes, he had one black guy and one white guy.
Again.
But speed got overpowered, if you will, in the end. And Obafemi was able to pick up the victory over a very impressive Riley Osborne. More so impressive perhaps Obafemi.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And I mean, we'll talk more about him when we get to this week's episode, of course. But I think we can do big things for Obafemi.
Woo!
Yes, I do. I definitely.
But I also think Riley Osborne has a decent.
Oh yes, I totally agree with you. I think they both have the potential, and man, Obiang, I can never say his name. I'm sorry, Obiemi. That man has so much power. I mean, he looks almost like, when Ahmed Johnson came in. You know how powerhouse he was.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you give him a little, he looks like a little Allman Johnson.
Yeah, I could see that.
He's not that.
No, but if you've seen Ahmed Johnson, you'd understand what we're saying.
He's so tall.
He's pretty decently tall.
6'10".
I don't know about that. But yeah, I was impressed by both guys throughout the entire tournament, to be honest. So
It was so good.
And be honest, the other guy from
Alright.
Chase U.
and then
I
you move on.
I'm sorry. I thought that was John. You know, the other guy that was about to try to chase you. I swear, I thought that was Joe Henry from TNA.
Well, yeah, I can see that comparison. He does look a little
Yeah.
like him. They are, I believe, both from the UK or Australia.
Yeah.
Or something.
For you.
Of course, we'll move past that. The main event of New Year's Eve was supposed to be originally for the NXT Championship.
But
Ilya Dragunov, unfortunately, is not cleared to compete by medical staff right now, so that match did get changed. We will see Trick Williams get that NXT title match somewhere down the line. When that'll be, who knows? Instead, we got a surprise appearance by SmackDown's resident loudmouth, if you will, Grayson Waller, of course.
oh, I'm done with him.
And in the main event, turns into the battle of the two Iron Survivor winners. But not only that, Carmelo Hayes would pipe up back when they were talking and would make it so that Trick Williams' number one contendership would also be on the line here. If Grayson Waller won the match, he would get the NXT Championship match against Ilya Dragunov.
Yeah, he's jealous of Trick, so.
Hey, now that's my guy, Carmelo Hayes. Watch what you're saying.
Okay, well, he's jealous of Trick, so. He's been jealous of Trick for a little while. And for a little while, I've been thinking that he's the one who attacked freaking Trick. And he keeps saying he's not, but for some reason, I don't believe it still.
Could be right. Who knows? We'll find out. But,
They're making him heel.
maybe.
No, I don't say that. I'm a genius.
Sure. Anyway, we get the match. I'm still not a huge fan of Trick Williams' in-ring work, to be honest. I feel like he's still got some room for improvement, so I can understand why there's more of a talk of moving Carmelo Hayes up to the main roster than there is Trick. But decent match here with Grayson Waller. Of course, at the end, Carmelo gets involved, even though Trick told him to stay away.
He never listens.
Which also leads to the distraction and KO popping up and getting another punch to the face of Waller.
Oh, thank goodness, I hate him.
And a victory for Trick Williams off of that. So Trick Williams keeps his title shot, even with not being happy that Carmelo Hayes showed up.
He was so mad. I could see it in his face. He looks like he was ready to punch.
Maybe.
He was
ready to fight.
Like you said, yeah, Trick Williams needs a lot of work. I think, is he ready for a world title shot? We'll see. But the only thing that's really hyping up Trick Williams is Booker T.
Yeah, right?
Whoa, that's
Yeah, man. What? I like that.
Right? That's Booker for you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Trick.
I personally don't feel like Trick's ready for a title match. And myself, I mean, they should have I would have been fine with him having a longer run as North American champion or going back and taking that off of Dom instead of Dragon Lee doing it.
Yeah.
And then having a decent run with that. But I just don't feel like he's ready for a world title reign.
No, he's not.
Rhea's going to give Dom the match because we all knew when Rhea gave Dom the match, he was going to win.
I think
Him winning the title if he's going to lose it literally 3 days later.
I think the reason why they gave Trick Williams that North American title, because if you look at it, that match got changed 3 times. Because first it was going to be
Yeah.
Mustafa Ali, then Dragon Lee, then Trick Williams, and then they take the belt off of Trick 2 days later. I think they just want to get it off because they were like, okay, who do we put? The storyline was already messed up, so they just put him on him, and then they took him off, and Don had that run, and then when Dragon Lee was ready, he became the North American champion. Just Trick's getting better, but he's not there yet.
Even though Wesley was supposed to.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. A reason why the match got changed 3 times. Because Ali got released before he could even go to the pay-per-view.
Yep. Pretty live that.
They were like, okay, we're gonna give you a 10 opportunity. Never mind, we're just gonna release you and throw that out the window. We changed our mind, but thank you for coming by.
Pretty much. Unfortunately, but that's the way things work sometimes.
He kept losing, so what was the point of keeping him? What? That's all he did?
No.
That's it.
All right, well, we're going to move on from NXT now. That's our piece on that part.
Okay.
And we got SmackDown's New Year's Revolution.
Revolutionary.
Not revolutionary, just Revolution. They show, of course, a car pulling up into the parking lot and Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman coming out. Kayla trying to get a word from him about The Rock's return on Raw, day 1.
And Roman
only to get blown off by both men.
Mm-hmm.
So
Roman and Paul just got him out of there.
From there we go in. You get, of course, the United States Championship Tournament Finals.
Yay!
You got Kevin Owens versus Santos Escobar. Before the match can begin, you get the brawl between Angel and Humberto and Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde. Out comes the United States champion Logan Paul, who would sit at ringside to be on commentary for this match.
What was the point of giving him if he's going to hold it for 2 months without being on TV once or twice and 0 title defenses, 0 matches?
Publicity. That's what the point.
Okay, I'm getting really mad about it. I'm about to have a conniption.
We call it the Brock Lesnar rule.
Actually, what was the point? He literally cheated.
Yeah, right? The Brock Lesnar role. Because that thing's pretty much the same thing that Brock Lesnar would do.
Yeah.
The title, disappear for a month or 2, and then finally show up and defend it.
And then
yeah.
But nowadays, you can call that the Roman Reigns role.
The Roman Reigns, yeah.
He defends his title. He leaves. Defends his title, leaves, comes back, defends his title, and then
leaves again. Yeah. But anyway, KO and Santos Escobar would have a really good match. I think we all pretty much figured who would win this one, but they went back and forth, and there was times where either one of the 2 guys could have won it. But in the end,
KO Kevin Owens wins.
Yes, KO would hit the stunner and pick up the victory.
Thank the Lord.
I liked how Corey Graves and Logan Paul were going back and forth at times on commentary, though. Like how when KO hit that inverted suplex to Santos off the ropes, and Corey says, Logan, whatever you do, don't ever try to superplex Kevin Owens. And Logan's response is, why not? Corey says, this is why. Watch this.
No,
And that's what KO does. Hits that inverted neck, that suplex off the second rope.
Oh, yeah.
I said, now you see what happens? You get this right here. You see it right there? I'm blind if you don't see it right here. It's right here.
if Logan Paul's smart, he'll actually listen to Corey Graves because Graves has known KO for a long time. So it counters KO Kaz sitting there, but
Yeah. They were in NXT together, were they?
yeah. Corey was working in NXT for a while on commentary when KO was there. So.
Yeah.
So, after the match, Logan Paul was so dumb and decided to go in the ring with Kevin Owens.
Yep, Logan was running his mouth, yep.
Kevin Owens decides he needed to shush Logan Paul's mouth and punch him right in the face with his cat and gave him a good punch.
He gave him a black eye. It's what he gave him.
Oh yeah, he really likes that black eye.
Oh.
His favorite thing in the world.
It's about time somebody shut up Logan Paul.
Yeah.
I was sick of Logan Paul. I was like, could somebody just please make him shush his mouth? All he does is run his mouth. Just shut it, Logan. Just shush your mouth or you're gonna get punched again and get another black eye.
I am a Logan Paul fan, to be honest, but he kind of had that one coming to him. So.
He needed to shush his mouth. He was running into me.
What did you think of the whole match between KO and Santos, though, Eddie?
Very good match. Very good match. But like you said, we already know what the outcome was going to be. You know, Kevin Owens, Logan Paul. We knew it was going to happen. You know, it shows that Escobar is, if they give him the right push, he's going to be a star. I mean, he was already in now, but, you know, he's getting up there. You know, who knows what they're doing with the LWO and whatever. If he's going back, if Escobar is going back to his Phantasm group, you know. But yeah, I do see that. I think they made the right call. Kevin Owens and Logan Paul are going to be a hell of a match whenever that match takes place.
At the Royal Rumble.
Is it at the Rumble?
Have my pick.
Yeah, well, it is happening at the Royal Rumble, yes.
Okay.
I'm going to say it like it.
So then, after they show a video of Randy Orton, you got Logan Paul getting helped in the back by Austin Theory and Grayson Waller when Kathy Kelly was trying to get a word from Logan after getting punched. Cameron Grimes would come into the fray too, and wasn't nothing really that important.
No, it was just boring and just slapping in the face all at once.
Pretty much.
Oh, or just punch off, get them lined up and punch them all in the face at the same time.
Okay, I did before. More importantly, though, when they go back to the ring, you get Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits coming out.
The almighty Bobby Lashley.
They're coming out to talk about their New Year's revolution.
I said that.
And Bobby mentions how he's planning on winning the Rumble. Street Profits looking for tag gold. But they would get interrupted. First by Scarlett and Karrion Kross. But then you see the Hall of Famer manager, Ellering, come out to the stage, which I think we pretty much all knew what was going to happen from there.
Yeah.
Then come two built guys.
That's what it. Yes.
Two big buff guys.
You get Akam and Razor, who come into the ring and beat the tar out of the Street Profits, and Karrion Kross would come down and annihilate Bobby Lashley like I haven't seen anybody do in a long time, to be honest. Other than maybe Omos, but still.
Beat the fudge out of him.
Yeah.
And Scarlett dyed her hair.
I mean,
it was blonde and not brown.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do with this new faction of Karrion Kross and the Authors of Pain, though.
I got their new name. Their name.
Yeah, we'll get into that. They didn't reveal names that week.
But
That's my own name.
the one
Right.
the one funny part of that reintroducing of Paul Elmer was like he just it was like did it and he just comes from the side of like I'm like man they could have did a more better intro like it looks like Karrion Kross did like a magician act that he just popped him out of a rabbit's hat or something.
Right. Just about. It's true.
My tag team I'm giving him is the Hurt Order.
Okay.
No, that's their name. I'm calling them that Friday, the Hurt Order.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, then.
But they hurt people.
Yeah, they did.
So that's their name.
Okay. But like I said, it was definitely interesting to see Bobby Lashley get manhandled the way that Karrion Kross did it. I feel like if they keep with this, that this is probably going to be a much better version of Karrion Kross than what we've seen since he got called up to the main roster, really.
And better booking for Karrion Kross.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully.
You mean
But he
the Ben Hur Kross?
The what?
The gladiator Karrion Kross. Oh my god.
Forgot about that.
Oh my god.
I think I didn't deal with that for very long.
Oh geez.
Yeah. But I gotta say Karrion Kross with AOP and Paul Heyman, who is a tag team manager genius. I mean, look at the list of men that he managed. And two of them, may they rest in peace, are no longer with us. He managed the Road Warriors.
Yes.
I mean, having Karrion Kross with him and Scarlett, I think it's a winner.
Yeah, it should be.
They're building Karrion Kross bigger and better.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the look that Karrion Kross is going with now, too, with actually having hair, too, after seeing him bald for the last couple of years.
I'm like, wow, that looks weird on you.
No, I thought so, too, up until we seen this from him in AOP.
Yeah.
It makes him look more dangerous, I feel like, almost, having the hair now.
It does. It does.
Which is surprising because he looked pretty dangerous bald. But... anyways, it'll be interesting to see where things go between those 6 men going forward. Move on from that. Of course, you got the WWE Women's Championship match as the Genius of the Sky, Io Sky, goes one-on-one with Michin.
No, I don't want to talk about that.
But it was a really good match. Yeah, well, Michin gave it her best shot and came very, very close multiple times to winning that match. However,
yet to fall away.
However, in the end, Io would hit the over the moonsault to pick up the 1, 2, 3 and retain.
Third time the charm.
Yes. It took 3 chances to try and get it before she actually got the win. But like I said with the Raw women's title match, I felt like the challenger came out even looking better in this match for the Women's World Championship as well.
She even came out with the OC and then they left.
Well, the Good Brothers anyway.
The Good Brothers, whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Michin showed that.
OC.
Yeah, I think Michin's really good and she's gonna develop better. I don't know. It's like every time I see Michin, I'm always thinking of her husband. Like, man, if you go over to the other side, her husband basically is not doing nothing. Keith Lee and Herman. It's like, You got two talent. You got a
Mhm.
you have a talented couple, and you're not in. You're doing something, but it's always on a losing end.
Right. Yeah, I feel like her husband needs to come back to WWE. But
Ain't gonna
Yeah.
happen. So you would keep
I wouldn't say it ain't gonna happen.
You would
Please
Once his
don't come
contract's
back.
up with AEW, I wouldn't be surprised if he came back. I mean, Hunter was the one that booked him down in NXT.
Yeah,
He
please
was
don't
treated
come
much
back.
better than
Please don't come back as the Bobcat.
why?
the Bearcat.
Bearcat.
Why?
Yeah. Oh.
Did you really just ask why?
Yes, I would.
Because the Bearcat was a stupid nickname.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I forgot about it because that was. I don't know. I know how old I am, but I don't know what year.
It's okay. So then after that match, like again, like I said, Michin looked really good, but of course, EO retains their women's.
Please tell me somebody's gonna be there before
You get
WrestleMania.
KP talking to Paul Heyman, Paul from backstage, talking up all kinds of challenges that Roman's had over the last 3-4 years.
Oh, jeez.
We're also talking about how CM Punk was the first ever Paul Heyman guy,
Yes, we know he's.
but Paul went from being good friends or best friends with Punk to being the advocate for Brock Lesnar to now, of course, the wise man for the tribal chief.
He's dumb.
And saying that The Rock needed to pretty much stay away from Roman.
Oh, what you gonna do? Do nothing about it?
Stay in Hollywood.
Oh, go stay in Hollywood because he's gonna listen to his younger cousin. The Roman has to listen to The Rock because he's older than Roman.
Yeah, well, Roman only listens to 2 elders, I think, out of the whole bloodline.
Put the law down.
And that'd be his dad and his uncle.
Oh.
Jimmy drive a Roman sometimes. I think sometimes Roman wants to punch Jay or Jimmy. Actually. Well,
yes, Roman wants to punch Jay too.
he wants to punch Jimmy sometimes too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Because he says yeet and Roman. I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh.
if you don't stop, I'm gonna explosion. Now it's got.
Anywho, then after the Paul Heyman segment, you got Damage Control talking backstage about how Bayley's going to go on and win the Royal Rumble match, and they're all going to be champions. And in comes Bianca Belair to say, "Oh well, that's a good plan for you, but I got a monkey wrench pretty much to throw in there because Bianca inserts herself in the Women's Royal Rumble match as well."
Yeah, like yes.
It also leads to they build a match for Bianca and Bayley for this past Friday night SmackDown.
We're gonna get there eventually.
And then we move on. You got Pretty Deadly going up against Butch and a mystery partner of his choice.
Please stop calling him Butch. Can we just give him back his name? Pete Dunne, gonna strangle whoever the idea was that.
Vincent Kennedy
I'm
McMahon.
gonna strangle him. I don't care if he's 78 years old. I might stop people's ages. Don't ask why.
Well, luckily for you, it's looking more and more like we might get rid of Butch sooner than later.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay, she said the words out of my mouth, so I don't have
Well,
to
of
worry
course,
about
the tag team.
that.
What's that?
She just said the words I was going to say. Thank God. You know.
I stuck a lot of people's ages, like a lot and a lot.
Yeah, but he's talking about the name change. But still.
Good.
You really had to figure going into this match, knowing that he got to pick his partner, that it would be one of two people,
It would either be Sheamus,
or the guy it ended up being, the big strong boy,
I'm calling them
the British strong style.
No, I was thinking, let me get my own name.
Oh, name? That's a name.
The strong people.
The strong people. British strong style.
Oh, strong people. Strong people.
No.
Strong people.
It was nice to see Tyler and Pete back in the tag team, though. Nonetheless, Pretty Deadly looked really good in this match, but they still were no match for British Strong Style, as Tyler Bate and Butch would hit a double driver on Elton Prince to pick up the 1-2-3 and finally see one of the members of the Brawling Brutes get a victory over Pretty Deadly.
Okay. First,
Former Brawling Brutes.
what the heck is going on with the Pretty Deadly's clothes? They're horrible.
It's what they've always wore.
They're horrible.
Well, it's what they wear.
It looks like they're gay or something.
That might be part of the intention.
Like, it looks horrible. Why do you need to show your nipples?
There's a lot of people that show nipples that are guys. Wow. A lot of guys that don't wear shirts on wrestling, so.
Oh my god.
All right. But anyway, what did you take of that whole match, Eddie?
I'm sorry. It was good. It was good to see Tyler. It was good to see Tyler Bates. I think Tyler Bates, God, he needs to come up to the main roster. I mean, I think he's ready, and him teaming with him teaming with Pete Dunne. I think it will be. It will be magical because them two work really good together. The finisher needs to be worked on a little bit, but it was a good, solid match for guys that have wrestled in the past in NXT UK. So, yeah, I give that match a B+.
Yeah.
I give it a C+.
A C+?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like the...
So then after that match, we'd go into Nick Aldis's office, and he was talking to Ashante the Adonis. It sounds like Ashante is wanting some chances and opportunities, and Nick might have some for him. What that will pertain to, we'll have to wait and see, because that was pretty much all we got from that. But I look forward to seeing what Nick gives Ashante the Adonis, because I watched him back when he was part of 205 Live, and he was pretty impressive in the ring on by himself, and it'll be interesting to see what he can do as a solo performer going forward on SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, man, Hit Row really.
Since there's no BFAB or Top Dollar or...
Yeah. Hit Row, if you don't know, hit him really hard in the face, and if Nick Aldis could get him something to do, God, I think he's better off by himself and to show what he can do. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Hopefully we'll see what it is.
Right?
I noticed a little something with Bobby and B-Fab, though.
Well, we haven't really seen BFAB the last couple weeks on SmackDown.
Yeah, but they be kind of flirting.
Maybe.
They be flirting there. I'm looking, I'll be like, are you trying to get a girl in your factory? Because if you are, you could just say it. Just say it out loud.
Maybe. Well, they're going to need somebody if Scarlett's going to be on the other side. So.
Yeah, but there's still that Paul guy.
they're still Paul Ellering. All right, well, we move on to the New Year's Revolution main event as you got the triple threat match to determine the number one contender for the Universal Championship.
Oh my gosh.
The phenomenal AJ Styles versus LA Knight versus
Yeah.
Viper.
Randy
Orton.
So I will mention LA Knight, yeah.
No, yeah.
I will mention during this triple threat match, I kind of noticed the crowd kind of seemed to turn on AJ Styles there in Vancouver, Canada. They were very heavily cheering LA Knight and Randy, but they seemed to be booing AJ Styles quite a bit.
Yeah.
AJ do to them.
I'm not sure it's what AJ did to them. It's more so what AJ's been doing to LA Knight since he returned. But these three guys put on a really good, I would say great, but you can't say great when you look at the finish of this match. But a really good match. They had plenty of time here. They were given. All the good got their spots. LA Knight did bleed during this match. He got busted open hard.
Somehow. Some way.
It looked at times like LA Knight was going to get the win, but it got stopped. It looked like Randy was going to get the win, but it got stopped. It looked like AJ was going to get the win, but it got stopped. It's to be expected in a triple threat match because there's three guys in there. You're trying to pin one guy, the other guy's not going to be too far behind usually.
I don't know. I know what happened after the match because I watch it on.
Of course, all three guys are down, and out comes the bloodline.
The head of the table.
But this version of Roman Reigns you see, and we haven't really seen since back in the COVID era, if you will. The hair down, greased up, just no nonsense, walk into the ring and start beating the shit out of people. We haven't really seen that much of that side of Roman Reigns lately, but the Bloodline did a number on all three guys, on Randy, LA Knight, and AJ. But Roman kind of screwed up there too. Because Nick Aldis, who was there watching the match, would tell Paul Heyman afterwards.
Roman Reigns just got a fatal four-way match for himself.
Yes.
At the Royal Rumble.
For his undisputed WWE Universal Championship.
And Roman was mad.
When he found out later, yes, he was very mad.
I've been wanting a fatal four-way match. Because he's been having one-on-one matches for like ever and ever.
No, not forever. He's had a couple triple threat matches in there.
Yeah, but basically all his matches are one-on-one.
The worst part of a fatal four-way or a triple threat match is that there's no disqualifications, so Bloodline can get involved.
Shoot, I forgot about Jimmy and Solo.
We'll get into more on Jimmy and Solo in a little bit.
They could be in the Rumble.
What was your whole take on this match and what transpired at the end of it and afterwards, Eddie?
Well, my opinion, for guys that haven't worked with one another, they put on a talent, and yet they put on a good match, near falls. It was good until the ending. That's the only part that meant. If it would have been a clean way, it would have been okay. But when they did the ending and turned it into a fatal four-way for the title at the Royal Rumble, yeah, that's the only flaw I have. And like when you said that Vancouver was turning on AJ, if you look at the outfit that AJ was wearing, it reminds me of his final run with TNA when he had that big heavy coat and covered his face. That's the AJ I'm seeing now, and that's the AJ when he was dealing with Dixie Carter when she was a heel.
Right.
So I like this AJ. And I will tell you my pick when we do the Royal Rumble. But I see coming out of that triple fatal four-way will be a match I want to see. But I will let you know when we do the Royal Rumble pick about who the two people I will see face off at Elimination Chamber.
Nice. I think I have an idea, but
Yeah.
all in all, it was a pretty good show for SmackDown Evolution. But honestly, when you look back at that first week of WWE programming for 2024, I feel like Raw still outdid SmackDown though to start the year.
Well, that's where SmackDown was too. Well, not rematch.
Doesn't matter 3 hours to 2 hours because a lot of times SmackDown's still better than Raw. But this week I felt like it was the other way around.
Okay.
I think me and you are on the same page. Yes, Monday Night Raw was better than Friday Night SmackDown that week, and I agree with you that what really topped it off from Monday night was the most electrifying man in all of entertainment, and it was more quality. But yeah, I think Monday Night Raw Monday Night Raw edged it out because of The Rock and plus of that world title match.
Yeah. Even though the world title match still ended in a little bit of controversy, it's still at least it had a victor.
Yeah.
So.
At least one on almost every WWE show. Little Chelsea, Tiny Tiffany, and that's it.
Oh, there's no Karens on SmackDown?
Oh, Bailey.
I knew it.
You know what? She just got a point.
So
she just
let's
got
move on. Yeah.
Yay! I get a point. How many more points?
All right. So we're gonna move on to this past Monday night's Raw. First thing they show is Cody showing up to the arena as he's going to be the main event. But then, more importantly, we go into the arena and Drew McIntyre's in the ring talking about the match that he had with Seth the week before day one. How he screwed himself, but yet more so, Damian Priest screwed him out of the World Heavyweight Championship.
And he going so much I don't even want to say it.
But then Drew decides to mention how you can go away for 10 years and come back to getting a rousing ovation, people chanting your name, you get a hero's welcome. Maybe that's what he needs to go and do. But since he's referring to this guy,
CM Punk
comes on down to confront Mr. McIntyre.
What do you see?
And I'll say this, I mean, we've got a full list of 3 hours worth of show to go, but I would say this promo between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk was the best part of this past Monday night's Raw. Hands down.
Wait, didn't Drew call Punk a kid?
They both called each other a kid.
Well, actually, Drew's a kid because Drew's 38 and Punk's 45.
Yes.
I stopped a group of 1,500, 585 people.
I enjoyed how Punk went up and lounged on the top rope while we let Drew talk, and vice versa. Drew lounged while Punk talked too.
I did too.
Mm-hmm. They definitely both had some barbs, I guess you could say, to throw at each other. Good points, I guess you could take too. It'll be interesting to see, as Drew did officially announce he's going to be in the Royal Rumble match during this promo as well.
We already know CM Punk is.
Because Drew says he's going to eliminate CM Punk from the match and go on to win it. And Punk would mention, well, Drew, if you're going to be in the Royal Rumble, good luck to you, but you're going to be the last one I eliminate from the Royal Rumble matches I had to my main event at WrestleMania. It's that these two took shots at each other during that promo. So there's a lot of things that you could mention that stood out, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. The one that really stood out for me was when Drew was talking when he was at his darkest then, and when Punk was world champion, he always went into the locker room and says, "Well, your leader is here," and he never really acknowledged that Drew was he was a prodigy. He couldn't figure out that he had to go away and figure out himself. Man, that was like saying listen, I was going through this hard time. I was supposed to be the golden goose, and then I got put into 3MB and the 3-man band, and then I got released, and then I went into the independents and revamped myself and became world champion. I mean, Drew's story is amazing, and the way he interacted with Punk and Blanton said it was his fault that he wasn't his mentor. That's what blew my mind. I said these two guys have some great chemistry on the mic, and I know when they eventually go into the ring and face one another, it's going to be a slobber knocker.
Yes, it will.
I got an idea for a good one.
What?
It's a tag team. Well, it's kind of a mixed tag team match. Well, not mixed, but do you see that Punk and WWE with the Jimmy and Naomi if Naomi comes?
Well, that
would be so fire.
But yeah, I liked how Punk mentioned, I never called myself a leader, so you're wrong. For kind of calling Drew out as a liar.
Yeah.
It seems to be the truth that he had his own issues back then, and Punk telling Drew, I never claimed to be a demon. I am not a demon. When push comes to shove, I'm the devil himself. So, which I thought was great to have put in there too.
Did you ever feel like when he said that, thought MJF was going to come out?
I didn't, but I could see how that would come to some people's minds.
Yeah, I was like,
said he isn't in
AEW
like that anymore.
I was like, yeah, I was like that. Oh wait, if it's not him, is it going to be Adam Cole?
Right?
No, he literally just came back to AEW.
Yes, he did. But anyway, move on from that great interaction between Punk and Drew. You got the first match of the night. Finn Balor with Damian Priest going up against Tommaso Ciampa with Johnny Gargano. Of course, Tommaso Ciampa talked on his way down to the ring, and then they re-showed how this match got made about last week. From our Truth, of course, getting involved in things that he shouldn't be again.
JD's out of the Judgment Day. Our Truth takes JG McDonough's spot.
According to our Truth, but only according to our Truth.
No, because listen, Damian Priest signed up for the match for JG. He said that's a great idea. Let's go ahead and do it. If JD lost, he was kicked out of the Judgment Day. That's exactly what Damian Priest said.
Yes, but there was no paper to pen to paper, if you will. So.
Oh my gosh, we don't need paper for everything. Contracts so horrible every time.
There was nothing made official for that match for that JD would be out of there.
Oh man.
Anywho. get back into the match between Finn Balor and Tommaso Ciampa, two former NXT champions, two of the greatest NXT champions.
I'm yes.
Sure. Ciampa and Balor put on a really great match to kick off the in-ring action.
I wanted Ciampa.
Ciampa did win.
Oh yeah.
What's your point?
I was laying in bed because I didn't want to get up.
Yeah, I won't mention that. Really good match. It seems like things aren't going so well for Judgment Day lately in the ring, though.
Yeah, because like they keep losing their matches.
Yep.
Like every week, it feels like they got pinned again and 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 again some more. It's like
Yeah,
they
Ciampa just
can't pick up a win.
almost got like a fluke win. I mean, a roll-up win over Balor here, but really nice match between these two guys who have a little bit of a history from back in NXT. So
They both NXT champions.
Yep.
But it's nice to see
And wrestling
win.
Yes.
I mean, it's been a long time.
Right. Yes, it is.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, I had a brilliant idea again.
And then from that match, we went into backstage. Jackie had been catching up with Becky Lynch to see what Becky's intentions are going forward. Becky mentioned how that was a little speed bump last week. Things aren't over between her and Nia pretty much, and that she's still planning on going on to win the Royal Rumble match. So
Becky's gonna win the Royal, or I said, no, I said my favorite person in the whole wide world, who I always pick, no matter who's going against her.
And then from there, we go on. You got Kofi Kingston versus Ludwig Kaiser off of the whole Giovanni Vinci injury last week. Pretty good, interesting match anyways. Can't say pretty good, really. Interesting match that these two would have that would end in a double count out. It's what happened after the match that's more noteworthy. Of course, Ludwig Kaiser would assault Kofi Kingston,
And
trying to take out Kofi's head like Kofi did to Vinci last week, pretty
it
much.
didn't work.
Not fully, no. But he's still got some good shots in on Kofi. Who knows for sure if we'll see Kofi this next week. I don't know.
If I hit the pillow with this, that means Kofi's gonna get good luck the whole year, and she's gonna get good luck the whole year.
Sure you will.
No, I
What was your take on that whole Kaiser and Kofi match and aftermath?
The aftermath
We
was
need
like,
some good
wow, this is a different side of Ludwig Kaiser. You know, I actually like the darker side. I actually like the darker side. I think it works for him, and
Yeah.
hopefully this leads to a match with Gunther.
Oh, potentially somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
I mean, Jackie would catch up with him backstage and how he's the only member of Imperium that was around right now. So
until
this next Monday.
tomorrow. Yeah. Custodian General's making his return.
Then from that, we go on Michael Cole with an in-ring interview with Nia Jax. How she beat Becky, and then she's going to go on to win the Royal Rumble match. And she happened to mention a certain women's world champion, though.
Rhea Bloody Ripley.
Yep. Which brought out Mommy. And interesting back and forth between those two women as Nia's looking to prove that she's the alpha female, if you will, of the Raw Women's Division. And Rhea had to remind Nia, who eliminated you from the Royal Rumble last year?
Me.
That's what Rhea told her.
I did. Wait, did she know herself?
And Rhea told Nia, if you do win the Royal Rumble, you better go over to SmackDown and challenge Io.
She's not going to.
Nia said when she wins the Royal Rumble, she's going to pick Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But if Bailey wins the Rumble, I think she's gonna face Io because they, yeah.
It's interesting to see Nia and Rhea pretty much pretty much the first time, just one-on-one, have an interaction with each other, though.
Yes, I did. I did enjoy that as well. I thought it was a good promo.
Conjo.
And man, you already knew that Rena was over because, man, Nia Jax got flat reaction. Yeah, I mean, she got reaction, but man, when Rena came out and it was like, man, people were chanting "mommy, mommy, mommy." It was awesome.
Right? It was. Then they'd go backstage. Jackie Redmond would be talking with Cody. Cody would get jumped from behind by Shinsuke. Referees and officials and Adam Pearce would come in, all just leading to the main event match getting changed from just a regular singles match into a street fight.
I knew that was coming anyways because that feud's gonna go up to the top.
We'll see. From that, nothing really much to mention. From that. Then you got the women's tag team championship rematch. Piper and Chelsea versus Kaden and Katana.
No. Little Karen.
Sure, little Karen and Piper Niven.
She's a little Karen. She's a little Karen. Cause she acts like it.
Personally, I felt like their first tag team match a couple weeks ago for the tag titles, when Kaden and Katana won it, was better than this rematch.
Yeah, that one was kind of.
Yeah, I agree. I thought this one was a little flat, but man, Kaden and Katana, man, that their finishing move. I mean, that is just, you know, when girls like that, man, she could just do that and hold on to her and just like, that move. That move was good. I actually enjoyed their finisher.
Yeah, both of their finishers really that they use are really good. So,
yeah.
But Katana, you never know if she's gonna land knees first in the midsection or if she's actually gonna hit like a moonsault type move with it.
I do miss the way Samantha. I do miss the way Samantha Urban goes. She don't say it anymore. For the past 2 weeks, she hasn't say Chelsea Green.
Chelsea.
Supposedly, from what I've read, somebody in upper management told her they didn't want her to introduce her that way anymore.
Why?
That is.
Because she liked it?
I don't know.
Because they're whack.
I thought it brought her out her
crazy,
character.
But right? I thought it did too.
It's building.
Who knows? But from there, after that match, you get, I'm sure, what was one of your favorite parts of the whole show. The R-Truth Judgment Day video. It was very hilarious.
The best promo of the night.
Whatever, yes. Video package was insane.
It was. I'm from the Carolinas. I've been
at least.
Baby Finn, baby Rio, baby.
Oh, the part that made me laugh when he's like, I've been with them for this long, and he's showing money in the banks, and then he showed a demonstration of him as a baby, and then the last one that made me laugh was when he showed the brand new T-shirt that you can buy on www.shop.com. All of them in one. It has. Oh man, I'm like, this man is gonna make so much money for the Judgment Day, and he's not even a part of the Judgment Day.
And actually, I seen online that the true R-Truth t-shirts were the top selling t-shirts on WWEshop.com.
They're
this
already
week, too.
selling out.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Is that the one? Is that the one that has all their names and on the bottom it says R-Truth and duct tape?
I think that one's the top seller, yes. And then he's got another R-Truth shirt, Judgment Day shirt, that's number 2.
Oh my god! I gotta give R-Truth, man.
I mean, you know it's hilarious. And they go. Yeah, you can give him the props in a second. But you know it's hilarious when they go from showing that video to the Judgment Day talking backstage, and Damian Priest is popping, talking about how much he enjoyed that video. Actually, got him, cracked him, if you will. So
maybe they're gonna be baby faces again. Or maybe at least
of course JD didn't like it, but
there's JD still hate R-Truth because he's a
yes,
little crybaby. I got beat. I got beat. Hey, I got hate on my R-Truth.
Priest does say that he will handle R-Truth when the time is right, too. So
when you see Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest like just laughing and all that, it just brings a warmness to my heart.
Yeah. Right. But I will say, when Judgment Day was talking backstage, though, Priest and Ripley kind of brought up good points. I mean, Rhea mentioning to Priest how he went and got Drew pissed off at him and wasn't supposed to, and he's mentioning, well, you went and got in the face of Nia Jax, which wasn't the smartest idea either. So it's like, wait, a little trouble between Priest and Rhea, perhaps here.
No, her name's not Rhea. Her name's Mommy. Dominic likes Rhea Ripley's milk and cookies. Probably made from her cow milk.
Maybe.
Oh.
Anyway, we stay with the day as he got JD McDonough then in the match against The Miz. With R-Truth, of course, coming out just as the match starts alongside Dom. More hilarity you get throughout the match. Miz picks up the victory over JD, though, as you would expect. Skull Crusher Valley.
Hate both of them. I don't hate R-Truth, I just hate JD.
The Miz.
Oh, wait. That's why I hate the guy who's on SmackDown. I don't even want to say his name.
I don't know what that's got to do with anything at the moment, but okay.
Still, well, actually, I hate people.
Yeah. We get you. At least The Miz is getting wins out of all this.
Yeah.
Fans of The Miz and his family.
What, his 5-year-old daughter and his, 2 or 3-year-old? And his wife? Maurice?
And his fans.
Who is literally older than him, I think.
I couldn't tell you.
33 older. He's older than him.
Anything else you want to mention about that whole R-Truth Judgment Day situation, Miz situation, before I move past that?
Actually, I love the way that the commentating team is going in with it. They're like, does he even know that he's even there or not? Because the commentating is feeling one of the best storylines right now of 2024. I feel like they're feeling something, and yeah, I mean that's the only thing I gotta say. The commentating team was basically feeling something. What we have, and it was an awesome thing with that.
Yeah, it helps when the announce team does bring into the story too. So
yeah.
All right, and we'll move from there. You get the World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins coming out to talk about how his year started with the victory over Drew McIntyre. Seth got a little bit of talking in before being interrupted by an old enemy, the modern day Maharaja, Jinder Mahal.
No, Bender.
Sure.
I hate him.
But anyways, those two would talk for a little bit back and forth about things, including last week's whole segment between Rock and Jinder, and out of everything, and they get a little brawl between them. Jinder finds himself in a world title match this upcoming Monday. Nonetheless. Yes. Wasn't much that really seemed to stand out in that promo, personally, to me anyways, but other than the fact we got a match between the two guys that were in the NXT Championship Finals, the first ever NXT champion.
And Seth won.
Yes, he did.
Good Lord, yeah.
I don't even think I was around there, so I don't even know.
All right. So then we move on. You got Otis versus Ivar in a battle of the big meaty men.
Big meaty men?
Yep. The behemoths, if you will. Those two guys move like cruiserweights at times. Do things that big men should not be able to do.
Did they ever go to the top rope?
Yes, they both get to the top rope.
No, like the one got the other and they fought down.
No, they didn't do a superplex off the top rope.
Oh, I wanted them under.
Super duperplex. No, they didn't do that. Otis and Ivar had a really good match, though. I felt like it was one of Otis's best singles matches that we've seen him in, though.
Yeah.
But of course, in the end, they both showed off their power too, besides their quickness in this match. In the end, Ivar would pick up the win with the moonsault. So,
man, when Otis picked up, he caught him while jumping up and caught him. I was like, what the? But I'm like, wow. I mean, that was amazing. You know, I was comparing both of them guys. It's where, I mean, it feels like you're watching a modern version of Bam Bam Bigelow and Vader.
Nice comparison. Can see that. I mean, there's another guy on the Raw roster that compared to Bam Bam Bigelow even more so than either one of those two guys. But
Bronson Reed, yeah.
Who?
Bronson Reed.
Oh, I said he was going to win at that thing, and then he didn't win at that thing.
Sure. But yeah, Ivar and Otis definitely put on a show, had a good, really good match. Ivar picks up the win as he's beaten 2/3 of the Alpha Academy now, at least. As a character, Tozawa still wants another shot at Ivar, though.
Oh, Kieran is are you trying to kill yourself?
He got in there and pushed Ivar before getting pushed back by Ivar. So yes, gets pushed right out of the ring.
I swear, Kieran's trying to kill this thing.
Trying to do something.
He's so tiny.
And then we'd go backstage. Jackie would catch up with Jey Uso, trying to get what Jay's intentions were for 2024, and Jay mentioning how his 2024 for him, his goal is to win singles gold for the first time. And in comes said Bronson Reed. Oh,
we're good.
Lost you there for a second.
Yeah, I know. We're good.
In comes Bronson Reed. Okay.
We good.
And Bronson Reed would mention how Jay might want singles gold, but he's going to also be winning singles gold for the first time in 2024.
It was the first time.
He'll be in Jay's way. Interesting to see Bronson Reed kind of step up to the main event level to go after to beat up with Jey Uso there.
I got an idea. We should have a Play-Doh's tournament.
You just love tournaments, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I could see Jey Uso winning the Intercontinental title at some point. Yeah. This year.
Well, that's who's gonna beat Gunther?
Maybe.
His reign needs to end like Roman.
Is there anything specific you took out of that promo before moving on to the main event of Raw?
Not really. It was just a promo that they both want gold, but yeah, it's just a normal. I want to win a gold. You want to win a gold, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting and see who gets it, but nothing really big.
The main event, which was a street fight, of course, between the American, a rematch from about 3-4 weeks ago, where Shinsuke would get himself disqualified by using the Miz. But this time around, these two would fight all over the place. This was the better match of the two they've had against each other, in my opinion. And in the end, I think everybody pretty much figured who would won the match. Did win the match.
Cody Rhodes.
Yes, the American Nightmare with Crossroads would pick up the victory over Shinsuke Nakamura.
And instead of Shinsuke getting missed this year, one of them.
Yeah, that point with the miss by Shinsuke, Cody would move out of the way, and his cousin, the timekeeper, would actually take the miss to the face.
That's his cousin?
That is Cody's cousin.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Is that what?
That's Tugboat or Typhoon's son, Fred Ottman's son. That's the timekeeper for WWE these days, and he is the cousin of Cody Rhodes.
So he must wear his dad's Shockmaster's helmet.
That's right. Cody was legitimately worried. Yeah, he probably.
You could see it was a neat. You could see right when I was watching that
right.
match. When I was watching the match, I'm like, why is the ring guy not moving out of the way? Oh, that's right, he's the plant. So yeah, let's just spray mist in your face, and then you just look like, oh man, I messed up. You know.
Right.
I don't know Cody's cousin.
Sure is.
How many does he
have? He's got more than 5 cousins, but
yeah, I'm more than 5 cousins too. I got like too many accounts.
Right. But yeah, it was that was one spot that stood out quite a bit in there. I mean, they used all kinds of weapons, kendo sticks, chairs, ladders, tables, nunchucks.
Nunchuck.
The Mist, of course, getting involved. Yeah, it was a really good street fight. And Cody picking up the win, of course, going forward, one of the favorites to win the Men's Royal Rumble match.
Yes, he is.
What's gonna win?
So what was your overall opinions of this past Monday night's Raw?
Be honest, it felt a little flat from the previous week. I understand it was the start of 2024, and they wanted to make it big. This one was really, really flat. It didn't have that. I know it's going to sound the word I'm going to say it. It didn't have the pizzazz like the first one. Couple of good matches. You know, Otis and Ivar, that was good, and then the R-Truth documentary of his love for Judgment Day, and the main event, and then all of and the beginning program with Punk and Drew. Punk and Drew. Other than that, I give it a C.
Yeah.
I give it a 9 out of 10, and I give it a B.
Give it a B. One was the better episode of Raw of the two shows so far this year.
They could have done a little bit more.
It was certain things that pointed out that you mentioned. But all in all, it could have been a much better show than what we got after.
Okay.
Potentially. So they would start the show. You had Blair Davenport going in rivalry that dates back to Nikita's injury because Blair was the one that took Nikita out. Going in, I figured Nikita would get some revenge here. However, she would lose as Blair would actually pick up the win.
Blair Davenport, what? I thought
Yes.
Nikita was going to win for sure. I am done.
But she didn't. Blair picked up the victory.
Nikita Lyons is literally my favorite. I gotta watch the best stuff, so.
Well, you're not the only one that feels that way because Nikita Lyons is one of John's favorites. So I'm sure if he was on here, he would be all over this one. So.
I texted him after the match. You know, when I was watching the match and when she lost, I was like, oh my God, John's going to go into a depressant area. Like, my girl lost. What happened? How did this happen? You know, I can't believe it. Like, is the world coming to an end? You know?
It's gonna be okay. Take a deep breath and relax. It's gonna be okay.
Right. Then we'd get a little preview for the Dusty Cup as we'd start that in a moment. They'd go back and show Carmelo Hayes talking to Trick Williams. And Mello mentions started that, so we get to see Trick Mello game in the Dusty Cup.
It's gonna go on that bad.
Perhaps. And then you go into the first match of the Cup, and you got the odd team of Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin going up against Gallus, Mark Coffey, and Wolfgang with Joe Coffey in their corner.
We knew who was gonna win already, so.
You do?
Yeah.
Who?
The wolf people.
Gallus?
Yep.
Wrong.
What?
Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin picked up the win.
That's just a wild team. Why?
Because Bron Breakker would hit a spear, Baron Corbin would tag himself in. Yes, Breakker was getting ready to spear Wolfgang, and then Corbin would hit the end of days to win the match.
Okay. If anybody agrees with me, that's a wild team. Just say
I mean, it's the Dusty Cup, and a lot of times the odd pairings are the ones that end up winning the Dusty Cup over the years.
it. Okay, so just somebody agree.
Not every year, but
Just somebody agree.
I mean, you look at former teams that have won the Dusty Cup, you got Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne for one, the Broserweights.
That's not that bad.
They were just thrown together as a tag team just for the Dusty Cup.
That's not that bad.
It was. It wasn't a team you would expect.
Oh, so we should
There's been other teams that were just randomly thrown together that have won the Dusty Cup over the years too, but that's the main one that comes to mind. But Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin are definitely going to be an interesting team to watch as this Dusty Cup continues, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh wait, what wasn't Finn Balor and Samoa Joe a tag team in that?
They were. They also won the Dusty Cup one year.
We're talking
Yeah.
about
Sure, they-
people who's not even in a company no more.
Yeah, but we're talking about the Dusty Cup.
But we're also saying that Samoa Joe is not in the company anymore.
No, he's not. That's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the crazy girl on there?
Was Tatum Paxley on NXT?
You remembered her name?
Considering the next promo was after showing some of Tiffany Stratton doing some of her ranch hand duties.
And that was so funny. She fell into water.
That was later on in the show, but yes.
which is just a race.
I was gonna say I'm not gonna go over all of it because Tiffany had a lot she had to do.
She had
Cleaning
to
up
Yeah.
the horse poop and
poopy, and she said, "Ew, I really poop now." Ew, cry like a little baby. It's just part of the life.
but it's Tiffany and she doesn't know none of that stuff.
That's because she's a Karen. Does nothing except bark orders.
Her daddy pays for everything, don't you know?
Her daddy pays for anything because she's broke and she's not paying.
Anyway, they go and she'd have a segment with Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez, and then Tatum Paxley would come out. Those four would end up brawling again, and I'm sure we'll get a tag team match out of that at some point going forward, as referees would come out to break that up.
Oh, still reminds me of Mick James.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not gonna be much different.
And then that means Tatum Paxley is gonna kidnap Lyra Vicaria's friend and tie her up and put a trash bag over her head.
The only problem is Lyra doesn't really have any specific friends like Ashley was to Trish at that time. So,
Yeah.
anywho,
She's still not. Well,
they might do something crazy here.
she should find a friend. She will find one.
So we go backstage to Metaphor, taking credit for Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen and Fallon Henley breaking up as a group. And Briggs would come in and call Oro Mensah Captain Sidekick. It would all lead to a match between those two later on in the show. And then we'd see Dragon Lee made it to the arena this week.
Yeah.
Told Ava he's ready to compete. He'd get interrupted by Lexis King, who had a contract made up for a match for the NXT North American title. So we get that as our main event. Dragon Lee versus Lexis King for the North American title. Not quite yet, no. But that was setting up for it. And we got Josh Briggs versus Oro Mensah with Metaphor in his corner. Briggs looked really good in this match for not seeing very many singles matches for him. In the end, surprisingly, he would actually pick up the win with a clothesline from hell, JBL-esque. Beating Oro Mensah. Noam Dar tried getting involved at different points, but it was to no avail, as Briggs would pick up the win.
It never works.
Works for Dar. It just doesn't for Oro Mensah for some reason.
The most important person on SmackDown is Grayson.
We're not on SmackDown at the moment.
Grayson Waller.
Good for him, but we're not on SmackDown at the moment.
Give 20 more minutes.
Yeah, maybe.
20?
So did you catch any of that match or have anything you wanted to mention about Briggs and Mensah's match?
Like you said, Briggs is showing me that he could be a single competitor. I think he was really good in that match, and yeah, he did a show that he can be a single. And I agree with you with that one.
Be interesting to see how things move forward for him. I'm sure he'll get another rematch with Noam Dar at some point down the road coming out of that. So.
Oh yeah.
And after that, we'd follow up with the NXT tag team titles on the line. As you got the family, Tony D'Angelo, of course, and Channing Stacks Lorenzo, with Adriana Rizzo in their corner, going up against Out the Mud with Scripps in their corner. This was a really good tag team match for Out the Mud being a newer tag team on NXT. I felt like they'd had a really good showing here. And I honestly thought they could have picked up the tag team titles at different points during this match. But unfortunately for them,
The
family was able to pick up the win and retain the tag titles with a little bit of help from their manager, Adriana. manager, sidekick, whatever you want to call her.
I said they cheated.
Not really, they didn't cheat. I mean, she just stopped Scripps from getting involved. Not cheating when Scripps wasn't in the match.
No.
I mean, Tony picked up the win for the team instead of hitting their tag team finisher. Tony would hit the forget about it to pick up the win. So, family retains the tag titles and keeps them going forward. What's your opinion on Out the Mud? As, like I said, they're a newer tag team and get a tag team title shot this soon in, and they look pretty good for that spot, in my opinion.
They do.
Just a few more months and then
Maybe.
That's yeah, she just gave the question I was gonna say. I mean, yeah, I think they're not there yet, but they're a good team.
I'm a genius. Read mine.
They remind me of Crime Time, but it's just Crime Time.
Yeah, me too.
Crime Time never got to that level. I feel like these guys are going to get there and all that. And with Scribs or Reggie or whatever he calls himself now, as their manager, I think it works out perfectly for them.
Yeah. I can see that. All right. We go from there. Show little script, that thing backstage, JC Jane talking to the Chase University student body, telling them that she's taking over duties going forward, trying to get Chase U back on track. Then they'd go back talking to Obafemi. Alexis King would come in talking about how he's got his title match coming up. Obafemi mentioning how he'll keep close eye on the main event match. Then they'd have Ridge Holland backstage, and he gets run in from Gallus, and they trade comments, and Gallus saying how they'll take out Ridge Holland if he doesn't watch his back, pretty much. That there's no brawling brutes there to help out Ridge Holland, so he's outnumbered.
A little bit. Only a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little ow.
Just a little bit. And we move on from that. You got Court Jade going one-on-one with Gigi Dolan.
I wanted Gigi to win.
But Gigi did not win.
Yeah, I know. I'm always wrong about everything.
It was a pretty good match. Cora Jade would hit the double underhook DDT to pick up the victory in there.
I was mad.
Of course you were.
I always want Gigi to win.
You don't want Cora ever to win, so.
No, because I don't like Cora. And she literally just broke up with Braun Breaker.
Yeah, she did. And actually, over the weekend, she apparently yesterday or Friday, one of the two, got injured at one of the NXT house shows too. So
No.
So hopefully not a bad injury.
So her and Braun Breaker no longer together?
Nope.
No, they're no longer a couple anymore.
They broke up. They made it a baby two.
Yeah, it just came out this last week. I think on Tuesday, actually, it was announced before NXT.
I literally, I was on my iPad scrolling, and I see it. I click on it, and I'm like, what is this?
Right?
What is this?
Wow.
What did you think of the Cora J. Gigi Dolan match, Eddie?
I like it, but, I feel like they're in that little, okay, we're going to have a match, but we don't have, creative don't really have nothing for them right now. I mean, I feel like they're just dwelling against fighting each other, or one's on TV for a couple of weeks, and, I feel, and I know this sounds really, really, really hard, Gigi should get a little more respect, because look at what JCJ is doing with Chase U and a big storyline, and Gigi is, God, I don't want to say this, Gigi has become the Marty Jannetty.
She kind of has. You're not wrong.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
it's sad, but they had a chance at Gigi with Blair. What was it, Blair? Yeah, Blair Davenport, and they basically just let. You know, they just messed it up, and it's not fair to her. But she has become the Marty Jannetty of NXT.
Yeah, pretty much. I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. And then we move on. You got the next Dusty Cup match. Axiom and Nathan Frazier went up against Hank Walker and Tank Ledger.
Hank and Tank.
Yep, Hank and Tank. Pretty decent tag team match. I think everybody probably pretty much knew Axiom and Nathan Frazier were going to win, and they did win. The Speedsters got the victory. Frazier hit the Phoenix Splash to pick up the win there. I don't feel like there was anything that special really out of that tag team match that stood out personally. But just the team that you figured would win won.
Yeah, I totally agree
Hank
with
and
you.
Tank are still a newer tag team they're not really going to push.
So one needs to go get a Tank and one needs to go get a Hank.
Yes.
Isn't it?
All right. So then we'll move on to the main event of NXT.
I want to.
You got Lexis King going up against Dragon Lee for the NXT North American Championship. Pretty good back and forth match those two guys had. In the end, though, Dragon Lee would, of course, pick up the victory, retaining the North American Championship. That's what happened after the match. That's a little more noteworthy. But is there anything you want to mention about that match before I move on past it?
No, I actually thought it was a good match, and Lexis King, Brian Pillman Jr. is showing that, different character, not going by his father's legacy, and proving that he could be what he is. Hell, I think he's getting more opportunities in WWE than he did in AEW. I mean, good for him. And Dragon Lee is Dragon Lee. I mean,
oh yeah,
that's all you got to say about Dragon Lee. But like you said, the other one's more newsworthy. And yeah, let's just go to that.
And the match is over. Out comes the men's breakout tournament winner, Obafemi, to cash in his contract and a challenge for the North American Championship. One thing I do want to mention here, whoever wins the breakout tournament does get to choose which champion they want to go after. Personally, I don't see why you would go for the North American title, but maybe it's for the best in this situation. I mean, previous winners have had more experience than what Obafemi does. So I guess I'm okay with Obafemi doing it this way. But if it's somebody that's a little more established on the indies beforehand, I feel like they should go after the NXT title. But that's just me nitpicky. I will say, though, for him coming in here and cashing in his contract there and having the match at the end of NXT, Dragon Lee still gave up a decent fight. I mean, it still wasn't that long of a match as most cash-ins of any sort, Money in the Bank or these types are not that long of matches. But Dragon Lee gave up a good fight. He just got caught up, I would say, when he went for his finisher and got taken down in a big way.
Yeah.
As Obafemi would hit his finish and get the 1-2-3. We got a new NXT North American champion after a powerbomb to end NXT.
Yeah.
Okay, now I
Well, we didn't finish talking about that yet. Like we were saying from New Year's Revolution, I feel like Obafemi definitely has a bright future ahead of him. in WWE, and I could see them pushing him like perhaps like a Mark Henry-esque character at some point in time going forward, because he's a pretty big guy. So
so
big built guy.
Oh, big. I don't like it.
Well, good for you.
I just want.
They had to get the title off of Dragon Lee since it's on SmackDown.
Just don't mad about it.
You be mad about it.
I've been mad about it for a week.
Not quite yet.
I'm gonna do it.
All right. That was a pretty good start to the Dusty Cup and a pretty decent episode of NXT. New Year's Revolution, New Year's Evil was better. I feel like those two.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Don't give this week a 5 out of 10.
All right, move on to SmackDown.
Woo!
Which would start with it's supposed to be Grayson Waller going one-on-one with Cameron Grimes, but Grayson Waller and Austin Theory would come out to the ring, and then they'd re-show what happened after SmackDown last week between Paul and Roman, and you'd come back to Solo and Jimmy beating the crap out of Cameron Grimes. Security, Nick Aldis, referees come out there. Paul gets a microphone, talks about what happened. Nick Aldis gets in there. Paul calls Nick Aldis the villain in this situation.
He snatches the microphone from Paul Heyman like he don't care.
Yep, Nick Aldis did snatch the microphone from Paul Heyman. And Nick Aldis did say that this fatal four-way match for the Undisputed Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble is a done deal. It is happening, whether Roman likes it or not. But then Nick decides to make the main event for this episode of SmackDown a 6-man tag team match, as all three of the challengers will team up, as it'll be AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and LA Knight
against Jimmy, Solo,
and Roman Reigns, the Bloodline.
And Paul Heyman said, but Roman Reigns isn't here.
That Nick Aldis knew that. And Nick happened to mention, oh, that's right, he did decide to take this week off. So you guys have until the main event tonight to try and find a tag team partner, or else it'll be a 3-on-2 handicap match. You gotta enjoy the interaction so far between Nick Aldis and Paul Heyman.
Oh,
Nick Aldis does not.
Definitely you do.
Like he's gonna take it from the blood.
Yeah. Nick Aldis is definitely different in this role than what Adam Pearce was when it comes to the Bloodline.
He was like, okay, I'll give you this. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Okay, here you go.
Well, in Adam Pearce's defense, Adam was on the receiving end of a beatdown by the Bloodline at more than one occasion. So,
yeah.
All right, well, Thomas, man up. You already got armbar by Ronda Rousey, didn't you?
Adam Pearce has got a lot of things happen to him. So.
Yeah, everybody hates Adam Pearce.
But then the fun part was him trying to find a tag team partner for Jimmy and Solo throughout the night.
Oh, that worked excellently.
Sure. We'll move on. Was there anything else that you wanted to take from that whole segment to kick off the show?
Actually, it was a good segment, but feel bad for Cameron Grimes. I mean, his main roster run really not as good. That's the only main that I have, but I feel bad for him. Maybe he needs to go back down to NXT.
No.
Maybe.
No.
They need to figure out something different for him, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like, they need to stop making Cameron get beat today.
Okay. So then we get our actual first match, as you got Angel and Humberto versus Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro. You got Santos Escobar on commentary and Zelina Vega, of course, in the corner of the LWO. It was a really good tag team match that these four guys put on.
Up until the end.
Up until the end, yes. So Carlito comes out. Him and Santos brought to the back. Angel ends up getting a roll up on Joaquin Wild, grabs a hold of the ropes and gets the 1, 2, 3.
I looked and I said, hey, he cheated. The Ripper freaking blinded. He blind. He need glasses. He blind. It's right there.
The ref wasn't looking in that area. As he should have been. I will say Cruz del Toro had a pretty good spot in that match, though. So I'd say Joaquin at different points. All four guys looked really good in there, though.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of figured they were gonna win, but I kind of figured they were also gonna like it. So
Yeah.
because they're bad guys, and only bad guys cheat.
Not necessarily. There are good guys that cheat too.
Oh, like
There are good guys that cheat too. Plenty of people.
Rest in peace, Eddie
good
Guerrero.
guys. Okay. Yeah. I cheat and steal.
I cheat, I steal. Oh, Rey Mysterio pulled some of those.
Yes.
He pulled some Uno.
Stood out to you during that tag team match?
Oh no, I enjoyed it. I think all four guys worked well, and eventually we'll get a 6-man tag match and go from there.
More than likely. Right?
With Rey Mysterio.
Things definitely aren't done between the both LWO factions, if you will.
No, not
Yeah.
Santos says they're the actual LWO because they're the Legado World Order.
Oh, so they're doing like they're gonna do like a NWO Wolfpack versus, the Black and White.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It seems like it's gonna go. The Latino World Order versus the Legado
Yeah.
World Order. And they move on. You get Nick Aldis backstage with Carmelo Hayes, who's trying to get himself a spot in the Royal Rumble match as part of the SmackDown roster, even though he's not part of the roster quite yet. But before Carmelo can get much of a response, he gets interrupted by Grayson Waller and Austin Theory.
I hate both of them.
Not surprising. And Grayson would be bragging about how he supposedly won already.
No, you didn't. You didn't even. I said you didn't even have a match. What did you have a match against? A fake ghost? You punched the fake one? Okay, go punch you the fake one.
Carmelo would challenge Grayson Waller to a match, but Grayson said he already had a match. But
No.
Austin Theory would gladly take him up on that. And
I kept saying, no, you didn't. You have made one against a fake ghost.
Theory didn't look too happy about it, but he did agree to it, and we will get Carmelo Hayes versus Austin Theory later on, which is quite noteworthy when we get to it.
Yeah.
Talks to the LWO, tried to get Carlito to join. Carlito wouldn't do it. You get a promo from Logan Paul from home saying how he's going to sue Kevin Owens if Kevin Owens shows up to the Royal Rumble with that cast on.
Yes, he can.
No, we can't. Not in that match.
Who's that?
Logan Paul, or else he's going to sue.
Oh, hell. Oh, I'm pretty sure that Kevin Owens has better.
I wouldn't bet on Kevin Owens having better attorneys.
Yeah,
Not with the money that Logan Paul's got. Anyway, then we go to British Strong Style, talking at a restaurant, and Tyler Bate pretty much trying to tell Bush that he needs to revert back to his old self, if is the gist of it.
Calling.
I will once they change his name back. But it looked like the gears were turning in Butch's head, if you will, at the end of that promo. So I think we're going to get the Bruiserweight sooner than later.
Oh, I can't wait.
And we go from there into a pretty lengthy, right? We go from there into a pretty lengthy match between the EST of WWE
My favorite of all.
Bianca Belair and Bayley. A few different times in that match, it looked like Bayley was trying to get Damage Control to get involved and help her out and beat up Bianca some, but they didn't do anything.
This is what they were like.
Yep, they just stood there looking. They had a really good match. Bayley went after Bianca's hair more than once. A couple times.
She was dumb.
But it came back to bite her in the end. And Bianca would hit the KOD, pick up the 1-2-3, as there seems to be more turmoil between Bayley and the rest of Damage Control. Anything you got to add before I move on past that?
No, actually, I agree with you. That match, with Bianca and Bayley, good match, and then the tension between Damage Control, it's showing that eventually, Dakota is going to be the new leader and going to have, three of the toughest ladies in EO, Kyrie and Asuka as the new Damage Control. It's going to be whenever they pull that trigger, it's going to be money.
I agree. All right. From there, they go backstage to Kevin Owens. Talks about how Logan needs him to wrestle without the cast on, all that good stuff, just leading to their match. And you get Damage Control and talking in the back, and Dakota saying that Bayley just needs to focus on going and winning the Royal Rumble match and keeping with their vision for all of them to be champions going forward. Some people were saying online it's more like Dakota gaslighting Bayley at the moment because you can see the other three members of Damage Control talking in the back of each other.
Yeah.
We move from that into Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits coming out to address the beating they took last week. They call out AOP and Karrion Kross, which Paul Ellering just comes out, and you get the video package, Karrion Kross talking about the new faction being brought up and mention their new name too. The Final Testament, I believe, is what they're calling themselves.
Yeah. Final Testament, yeah.
Yeah. It'll be a little more build towards that rivalry, anyways, as we didn't get to see any interaction between them otherwise. I felt like there could have been more than what little we had there, but you got to be patient, I suppose, going forward with that one. Give it some time. What did you think of that whole segment?
First of all, the name is stupid. They could have called themselves the Hourglass and all that.
Yeah.
Because she uses that hourglass and say tick tock, and yeah, Paul Hellman coming out looking like he's, like showing somebody to their seats in a movie theater. Like you could have done more.
Right. They definitely could have. And there we go on. Paul Heyman, of course, talks to Pretty Deadly. Pretty Deadly is trying to offer their services for the main event match, but Paul's like, you guys do realize only one of you can be the tag team partner, not both of you, right? To which Pretty Deadly then changes their mind, and they're like, oh, we're good. We don't need part of this match. A little bit funny stuff from Pretty Deadly, I guess, there, but Paul's not having an easy time trying to find a partner, as then he would walk in. He'd talk to Bobby Lashley and try to get Bobby Lashley to help out, but Bobby said the only time he wants to be in the ring with the Bloodline is standing across the ring from Roman Reigns. So that was not going well for Paul Heyman at all. And then we move on. You got Carmelo Hayes versus Austin Theory. I felt like it was going in the direction of a good match, and they were just starting to pick up steam when the referee had to stop the match because of the injury that happened. Kudos to WWE for the referees calling matches lately for things like this when it doesn't look like the competitors should be continuing. I know it was a big thing on social media when AEW was not doing the same thing that they should have been doing. So props to WWE on making sure their officials are on top of things like this. Austin Theory on that botched Spanish fly off the ropes looked like he landed right on his neck. So for sure, I don't blame the referee at all for calling the match at that point. I'd seen afterwards guys were evaluated and they just came out with some contusions to their faces, but they are going to be perfectly fine going forward. So that's good news. But it was a scary spot for sure.
Yeah. I was watching that match and I was like, oh man, yeah, good then they're okay, and accidents happen like that. Yeah, just man, it was a scary set because them two are two talented athletes. I mean, they work. I don't think was Theory ever in NXT with Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah, Theory's been in NXT when Carmelo was, but I don't believe they ever really had a one-on-one in NXT.
I mean, they look like they've been doing a couple of matches
Theory
for
kind of finishing up. Right. Like I said, it was a pretty good match and seemed like it was going to get even better up until that spot that had the match, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't know how Theory didn't do more damage to his neck than what it sounded like he did, though, because like I said, he landed right on the side of his neck.
Yeah.
So. Glad he didn't, but it was rough. All right. Then you go Jimmy Uso, Paul Heyman, and Solo backstage talking. Jimmy's saying he's worried, as he mentioned earlier in the show too, that he's really worried about this upcoming potentially handicap match. Solo again saying he's not worried. And then Jimmy changes his mind. Oh, well, Solo's not worried. Then I'm not worried. We've got this. Like, sure, Jimmy, who are you trying to convince? Yourself? Or are you trying to convince everybody else? But, of course, they go from there to Randy Orton coming out, and Randy gets attacked from behind by Solo and Jimmy and taken out of the match for now. As the main event would turn into a tag team match, it looked like, between Solo and Jimmy versus AJ and LA Knight. I would say those four guys put on a really good match, and I was surprised at how well AJ and LA Knight actually got along or seemed to get along throughout that match after everything we've seen since AJ returned.
Okay, I'm back.
I don't know about you, but I was surprised by
No.
that match. Anyway.
No,
Yeah,
no, I actually agree with you. I was surprised because they worked pretty well. I mean, with Solo and Jimmy, I was like, hey, this is not a bad match. I mean, this is the chemistry was there. Good for them.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Why do they hate each other so much?
I told you the other day why AJ hates LA Knight anyway.
Oh yeah, because LA Knight shoved AJ as soon as he returned.
It's more than that. It's because LA Knight kind of took AJ's spot.
Okay, well, maybe it's not being injured. I can't control it. Who cares? Stop being a little crybaby.
But anyway, things were looking a little bleak for AJ and LA Knight, and then out comes the Viper. And Randy gets the hot tag, comes in, cleans house, hits an RKO, and Jimmy for the 1, 2, 3. to be expected, but then it's what happened after the match. Even story, I could say, as those three guys, LA Knight, AJ Styles, and Randy Orton, rather, would then decide to take out Solo and Jimmy and give them a little taste of their own medicine from the previous week. But to cap it all off, you get Old Faithful, if you will, that Roman knows quite well, a shield bomb, of all things, to Solo Sikoa through the announce table. I think a clear message was sent to Roman Reigns by all three of his opponents at the Royal
Yes,
Rumble.
it did.
And to see all three of those guys getting along there, and they pretty much take out Jimmy and Solo. If they're lucky, they might have done enough damage to possibly keep them out of the getting involved in that match at the Royal Rumble. But we'll see. Now, Paul was a little worried, and as the show's going off the air, he's got his phone saying, "Call Roman Reigns." So, that didn't go according to plan, and Roman's not going to be a happy camper when he's on SmackDown this next week.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be like, "Oh, I thought you fixed it. You're the wise man." Yeah, it's going to be a wonderful Friday night.
That's for sure. But all in all, I felt like this week's SmackDown to me felt like it was better than last week's SmackDown. Even without Roman Reigns as part of the show, I still felt like it was a better, maybe a more better paced, or most of it was better part, I felt like, than last week's show.
You know what? Yeah, no, I totally
still wasn't great. It had it. I would say this week's SmackDown I felt like was a little bit better than Raw. I mean, neither one of them were the greatest, but I still would say SmackDown did better than Raw this week.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think they had a more better plan on SmackDown. There's finally, I think what really is making SmackDown a little better with over Raw is because there's finally an authority figure that is not going to let the Bloodline take over SmackDown, and Nick Aldis is basically saying to Roman, "You're our champion. You do what we say, and that's it." It's not like it's been in the past. So I like the interaction between Aldis and
Right.
It's bringing out more. It's bringing out more of the storyline.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I get that. I agree. It feels so much different and better, and I felt like even without Roman Reigns, the show was very good, and that wasn't always the case before Nick Aldis came onto the scene.
Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't be just one guy. I mean, obviously it's not just Nick Aldis that's making the change, but Triple H altogether being in charge of the show has to help, I'm sure, too. But still, it just feels so much different when Adam Pearce was in control of the show, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Because this show wasn't lacking with no Roman Reigns on it.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with you. I thought the show was it was good. Roman not being there, yeah, it actually is doing, and the way that they're presenting Solo Sikoa as this unstoppable monster, and then showing the three opponents of Roman at the Rumble, showing them that, hey, us three could take you out in a minute, and then it'd just be us three trying to fight for the championship. So it's like telling Roman, like, you have no chance in hell of retaining the title if we take you out before the match. take you out during the match, I mean, you're incapacitated. So it's showing a different side of Orton, LA Knight, and AJ Styles.
That is true. And maybe one of the things that feels so different of even not having Roman on there is that you have that Randy Orton, you have that AJ Styles, now LA Knight with the huge push he's gotten over the last year. They can fill that void, if you will, of not having a Roman Reigns on show. It feels like.
Yeah.
I will need Roman Reigns need to put the title before 2025.
He will.
He better.
If he doesn't lose it before WrestleMania or at WrestleMania, then there was talks that he could potentially lose it at Survivor Series. That's not until November, I know, but still. There's talks of that potentially happening because he beat Hulk Hogan's record if he holds it till then.
I swear to God, I'm screaming.
Wow. Yeah.
Hoping they.
I hope they do it before because hey, if he could beat Hogan's record, but man, keeping the title until Survivor Series, yeah, I'm good with him losing it sometime.
Yeah, I don't agree. He should have lost it, like I said.
He should have lost to Cody at Mania last year.
Yep, he should have. Yep, that happens. Should be an interesting week, though, this upcoming week. Like I said, Roman returning on SmackDown. Tomorrow night's Raw. You got Cody Rhodes will be on the show, giving his thoughts on things going forward. I'm sure, and I know they've got other announced for Raw, too. I just can't think of anything off the top of my head at the moment, but should be an interesting week as we are getting closer and closer to the Royal Rumble, just under 2 weeks away. So we'll probably find out more people in the Rumble matches as well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Going forward, do hope to have these weekly shows, which will be, I mean, I see we're at almost 3 hours in. Weekly shows will not be that long, but we're covering 2 weeks tonight, so.
Yep, my back. I just had a lot of stuff last week, and I just want to apologize to your viewers. Just had a lot of stuff come up last week that do it, but this week coming, you will see the best in pro wrestling between me and Tony. I mean, I appreciate it, and we will get this done.
We have you along, and hope that it's some good opinions too. So,
and some things that weren't even before I was born, because I was born in 2013, and some of the things were before.
Yep.
Way before I was born.
Yep. You still know about him. So.
Like the Mickey and Trish and
Ashley.
Like that was in like 2000 something.
Yes, it was in the 2000s.
I wasn't around yet.
Nope.
I still had 13 years.
So that was probably 2000, but it was, I think that happened like 2005, I think, the year your mom graduated high school.
And my mom graduated high school in 2005.
Oh my God.
In 2004.
Yep.
What year did you say?
The year that happened, or graduations wise?
A graduation. What was it? Is it your graduation?
My graduation was 2004.
Oh my God, mine was 2002.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, we finally realized how many years we've been out of school. Oh my God.
Yeah, I got 20 years this year, so.
Yeah, I got like 23. God, almost 23 years. Almost, yeah.
Wow.
God. Life changes in like that.
Definitely.
Right.
Right.
Mama, I'll talk to you off air about this week.
Okay, sounds good. We'll look to be back on next weekend and course, in 2 weeks, we'll be here with our Royal Rumble prediction show with John being part of it as well, the day of the Royal Rumble. So look out for that, guys.
6 p.m.
yeah.
Yep, 6 p.m. the day of the Rumble on the 27th.
Because I stalk YouTubers and I stalk ages of wrestlers.
All right. Thank you, Eddie and Hope, for being on.
No
We'll
problem.
see you guys in the next one.